Let's kick this off by welcoming everyone to the Cinema Culture Club. My name's King Jess, and some of y'all might already know me from a little show called Word Around the Ring. Apart from wrestling, I'm your typical huge nerd and love all things pop culture. From movies, shows, video games, you name it, I have my hand in it somehow. But I'm not alone in the CCC. I've enlisted the help of two of the most culturally degenerate friends I could convince onto a show. So alongside me is the one and only OMG Julio
How's it going, people? OMG Julio, aka Hoodie Julio, and CCC for life.
and the young lion Boyo.
Hello, guys. Mark, aka Boyo, like Jesse just said here.
And as a team, we make up the Cinema Culture Club, your one stop shop for anything and everything pop culture. Boys, welcome. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask, what's something that y'all are looking forward to doing here at the CCC?
Julio, you want
Um,
to go first?
oh yeah, all right, me first. So honestly, something that we already do amongst ourselves, but just on a grander scale. Like, I'm a big movie buff. I'm talking like weird movies, movies that get little to no attention, and there's a bunch of good ones that I've recommended to you guys in the past, right?
True.
And I look forward to bringing some of those movies to the attention of people. And on the flip side, if we get people that listen in and they decide to comment, I'm hoping to find some gems I've never heard of. Maybe someone will comment and be like, "Nah, you got to check out this," and I will. So that's probably my biggest thing is bringing my love of certain movies that I think deserve more attention and learning about new ones.
Hell yeah. What about you, Boyo? What are you looking forward to doing?
Yeah, me, same as Julio. I love watching movies and I love talking about movies with my homies. So yeah, I'm just excited to learn about new movies and talk to you guys about movies.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. Not just movies. We'll be talking about comic books. We'll be talking about video games. We'll be talking about shows. If it's on the pop culture radar, we will be talking about it. With that being said, let's kick this off with some personalized intros. I'll shoot first. As some of you may already know, my name is King Jess. I hail from Anaheim, California, but reside in Las Vegas. If I had to list a few hobbies, I'd have to say, of course, watching media. Playing video games is a big thing that we do. I'm a huge model kit builder as well as a PC builder. I don't think there's anything more therapeutic than bumping some tunes and building something, especially something like Legos. So I'm big into that as well. Speaking about tunes, this was a hard one for me because I love music. Always have, and I always try to listen to everything. So I have huge roots in the rap culture as well as the rock culture, but I'm a fan of it all. If you could get me to vibe, that's all it really takes. Um, Now, for the hardest part of these intros, I asked you guys almost an impossible question, and that was to name three of your favorite movies. I decided to go with three widely different movies to showcase a broad range of films. So, first off, a classic, Clerks 2. I absolutely love Kevin Smith, so this was a no brainer to put on my list. Second, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. If I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you give Ben a chance to show them chops, he shows out, and Mitty was a masterpiece of a movie and a role for him. And last, a movie from my childhood that demonstrates the power of props and practical effects, which is Labyrinth. Not only does Bowie kill it on every song, but his performance is unmatched. But enough about me. I want to hear from the crew. Up first is a man I invited to join me on this journey because we go back decades at this point watching movies together. He was the first person to ever introduce me to the Broken Lizard crew and rented Beer Fest on a PS3 so I could watch it for the first time, probably giving his card info to hackers. He's the oldest member of the crew and one of my closest friends. Everyone, give him a big round of applause. His name is Julio.
Thank you, thank you. Better intro than I deserve. So much better. Name's Julio, aka OMG Julio, aka Hoodie Julio. I'm from Los Angeles. Born in Compton, lived in South Central, but then I came to Las Vegas, where I'm very happy as a transplant. And I will say yes, Jesse did give us an impossible task almost by narrowing down three favorite movies. Now mine's cover the spectrum. My all-time favorite movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Just so many things that I could say about that movie. I won't at the moment, but just goes to show that a good story is a good story. You know, stop motion animation, the way it was feel like it just goes to show that a great story will translate no matter which way you decide to tell it. And The Nightmare Before Christmas is that. Next up, we have Goodfellas. Just because sometimes it doesn't matter how good a story you can create. Sometimes the truth is better than fiction, and that's where Goodfellas comes in. Goodfellas is based on the memoirs of a former, organized crime member. And man, you would think some of that is made up, but apparently not. So Goodfellas is just a really good movie. And the third movie I chose, this was really hard. Okay, um, I had to exclude some stuff like Training Day and other movies, honorable mention there. But I went with Mad Max Fury Road, and I went with it for a reason. Okay, first of all, I love the series. I love all of them, and Mad Max Fury Road was its glorious return after what, almost 3 decades, I think. But Mad Max Fury Road is the movie that I currently like to use when I try to explain certain movie ideas to people who aren't as into movies as me. Like Mad Max Fury Road is perfectly broken down into 3 acts. Act 1, act 2, act 3. Like when you're watching that movie, it has fades to blacks in the perfect places. You can literally point to like so many movie making tropes and mechanics in that movie, and general audiences seem to like it. So I like using that movie as my example when I want to point out more complex movie ideas when I break down to people like things I see when I watch movies, and Mad Max Fury Road just does it so well. Also, a little fun fact about that one, and I like to tell this one to people because for some reason it just ticks them off. Not only is Mad Max Fury Road a 5-time Academy Award winner, but it currently sits as Australia's movie of the century.
Yeah,
Like
dang.
I looked this up. Like there's a publication in Australia. So like movies, that were produced in Australia, made in Australia. Mad Max Fury Road currently sits as the Australian movie of the century,
Dang.
and people seem to just be ticked off about that point sometimes,
That was
and I
crazy.
love bringing that up. A lot of my hobbies include the same thing that Jesse said. It's obviously while we've been BFFs for the better part of over a decade. I will, you know what? I will bring up one extra thing. I know Jesse said that I was the person that introduced him to Broken Lizard and everything, and a few other movies. So like I mentioned earlier, I like introducing people to like movies they might not have seen yet, but that they'll vibe with. I want to point out another movie that, if I'm not mistaken, is also the one that I introduced you to that you hadn't seen yet at the time, and that was Dazed and Confused.
Oh,
I could be wrong though,
100%.
but
Yep.
oh, okay,
I
yeah.
think we watched it on the same night.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. We were just having a movie marathon. That's literally
100%.
what we used to do. But Dazed and Confused is one of those movies too that, for better or worse, a lot of people haven't seen it. Just anytime I know someone hasn't seen it, I'm like, not we drop everything.
It's a
Next
must.
90 minutes, or yeah, we're doing this. So yeah, and I look forward to doing that with any listeners we might have. And hey, like I said earlier, anything you guys think I may not have seen or want to suggest, have at it. I'll be more than happy to check it out.
And up next, the youngest member of the crew, a man I used to babysit, believe it or not. I invited my next host because his love for all things pop culture is unmatched. Some would even say he gives off young Kevin Smith vibes. I've always admired his love for cinema as it reminds me of my own, and I knew I had to have his mind on the show. So let's give him a huge round of applause and welcome my boy, Boyo.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, guys. My name is Mark, aka Boyo, and I'm 25 years old. I was born in Los Angeles, but I was raised in Vegas. And some of my loves besides movies are music and anime. Uh, Jesse gave us the task of naming our top 3 favorite movies. So here are mine. For number 1, I have Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 can also be swapped out by Spider-Man 1 by Sam Raimi, but let's go with 2. This movie really opened my eyes to the love of superheroes and comics in general, so I would always love that movie for that. For movie number 2, I have Amores Perros. which is a Mexican movie that I saw on Cinemas, I believe. It's a Mexican movie channel. And this movie really blew my mind the way that it told one story through three different lenses. And for my third movie, I have Fight Club. This movie, the ending to this movie, that plot twist at the end, also made me fall in love with movies again. But yeah, these three films are probably my three favorite films of all time, I would say. I also love music just as much as movies, so I look forward to talking about that with the boys too. Some of my other hobbies include a little bit of anime and a little bit of sports too. So yeah.
With intros out of the way, let's get right into the show with our first segment, Reel It Back. Reel It Back is the part of the show where the club discusses and reviews a new or old movie they decided to watch as of recent. This week the movie and the theme of the episode is James Gunn's Superman. We got a chance to watch this together recently. It was actually mine and Mark's second time in theater watching it, and Julio, this was your first. And I gotta say, boys, I still love this movie. Since then, I've watched it a total of 4 times now, and this truly gives me hope that the DC is finally in the right hands. I've said this a lot over the past couple weeks, but James Gunn just gets it, and it really does show. Boyo, you went into the screening hoping to be won over. You saw it the first time and said you weren't really feeling it like everybody else was. Did Gun Superman win you over on the rewatch?
The rewatch it did. It really held up. It like really got me excited for the future of the DC.
What
It
were
got my
some of
hopes
the
but
what were some of the changes that you saw this time around that you didn't see the first time that really won you over?
it just really felt like a more Superman movie. You know, like I'm not the biggest Superman fan,
Mm-hmm.
so like I really liked Man of Steel. It was not bad for me, but this movie just really did feel like a Superman movie. The coloring, everything, James Gunn's writing, it just felt like you were like reading the pages off of a comic book for me.
On the other hand, Julio, this was your first watch, and I'd say you went in knowing very little besides the surface stuff floating around that was being said. What were your initial thoughts? And now, after some time sitting on it, have the thoughts changed? And will you be watching this version of Superman again?
Okay. First and foremost, I do gotta say that something people should know, and I gotta thank you for. I initially didn't want to watch this. And you remember, I told you,
Understandably.
I told you I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you texted me. You're like, "Hey, let's watch Superman." I'm like, "Man, I gave you the
Mm-hmm.
green mile. I hit you with the green mile. I'm tired, boss." I was
I'm
like,
tired, bro.
I didn't want to do a
I'm
superhero movie
tired,
anymore.
Grandpa.
Yeah, I didn't want to do any. I didn't care if it was Marvel or DC. I was just like, you know what, man, I'm not interested. You were like, no, 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 I got this, man. Come on, let's go watch Superman. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Screw it. And that's what I have you guys for because you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. Um, I know we're gonna get a little bit deeper into it in a little bit, but if the broadcast is going the way I think it went for the people watching, Alexander Joseph Luthor, man, that's all I'll say for now. Okay, but yes, I enjoyed the movie, and yes, I do see myself watching it again. Uh, once it's streaming or wherever we're gonna catch it.
Yeah, this is definitely, like I said, I've already watched it 4 times. I really love this movie. Not only did the James Gunn, I think he learned from everything he did over at Marvel and what they were doing, and he brought it over to DC and said, you know what, this is what works, but you can experiment with these avenues and we could probably have something special. And I feel like that this movie came across that way. I brought it up multiple times to you guys. The pacing to this movie definitely feels like a comic book show, you know. And me and Boyo have been watching My Adventures with Superman recently, and I would say that carries the same kind of pacing with this movie. Or would you say the same, Boyo?
Yeah, it really yeah, like I would say that it was really like My Adventures of Superman and the James Gunn Superman, it felt like it was the same universe, the same story. You know, it just gave off the same vibe, you know?
Julio, now that you've seen James Gunn Superman and we're telling you that a animated show like My Adventures with Superman is in the same vein of the show, carries the same cadence that this movie does that entice you more to go watch something like a DC animated show?
Well, me personally, like I've always thought that DCAU, DC Animated Universe, for the uninitiated,
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that was top shelf. So I've never needed convincing to watch anything animated by DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
What James Gunn's Superman does do for me, however, it makes me interested in seeing the next DC project in this universe, which for me is a lot right now. Because like I mentioned earlier, I honestly initially did not even want to go see this one. So
Yeah.
that's what the James Gunn Superman has done for me.
And the classic the DC animated universe, that's something that even Boyo recently has brought up to me, that it's been killer and it has its own sagas. And not a lot of people talk about it, but it has been in good standings, wouldn't you say, Boyo?
It is. The movies connect. They're good movies, good stories. The
The
animation's
shows
good.
the shows are top shelf.
The shows too. Young Justice being one of them.
I
What are
mean the not that this is Superman, but the definitive Batman was Batman the Animated Series, Kevin Conroy. That's DCAU. Like
Yeah. To some people,
100%?
Kevin Conroy is Batman to them. Like when they read comic books, it's the voice of Kevin Conroy.
100%. I feel like that's, you have certain actors that are just that, right? And I feel like we got something like that in this movie with Lex Luthor. The actor that played Lex Luthor, he embodies the character of Lex Luthor, and I will not be able to see a Lex Luthor the same way ever again. Nicholas Holt is now my Lex Luthor. And sure, there have
like
been great Lex Luthors in the past, but Nicholas Holt now personifies my Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I mean for me, okay. I'm not gonna go as far as saying my Lex Luthor. My DCAU Lex Luthor is my Lex Luthor. Okay, but with respect to Gene Hackman, Nicholas Holt is my live action Lex Luthor. Okay, yes, I don't think I've ever seen Lex Luthor done better in live action, and that includes Smallville. Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
about to say that.
yeah.
I was
Downvote,
about to mention Michael Rosenbaum.
yeah. Downvote the video all you want, people. All right, I said what I said. Carry on.
Well, look, that's I
Michael
would say
Rosenbaum
that
was a good one.
I would say
Go
that
ahead.
that I would say that walking away from this, we all kind of walked away with someone being our favorites. Julio, you became a huge fan of Nicholas Holt as Lex. I would say I walked away Guy Green fan with Nathan Fillion finally, portraying him on film. Mark, what is the one character that you walked away, because you were already a DC fan? You were probably one of the
Yeah.
bigger DC fans that I knew. You were, the
Yeah.
soldier standing tall when everyone was talking shit. As someone that now
Yeah.
is justified, what was one of the characters that you saw in this movie that you kind of walked away with, like, oh, that's my character, like that's someone that I want to see more of.
Yeah. Well, we saw a lot of characters in that movie, so it's hard to choose one. But I'm gonna have to go with Superman. David Cornsweet.
Corn Sweat.
He did a good job. Yeah, him. He did a good job. He's like he felt like Clark Kent. He felt like Superman. He just embodied the character really well.
And that's something with this movie that I've said multiple times when I talk about it with people, is something with the Snyderverse Superman films was that even though you can tell that Cavill wanted the role, he didn't want to become Superman. Like he never felt like Superman. Um, he felt like maybe a different version of Superman, but he didn't feel like that symbol of hope that we used to have. And I feel
I,
like Corn Sweat did a real good job at portraying that symbol of hope in this movie.
I, I think Cavill. I'm not gonna put it on Henry Cavill. I think Cavill was let down by everything else around him. If it
Okay.
with all due respect, because I know how hard it is to make movies, and a lot of people behind the scenes worked really hard in those movies. So not knocking them, but Henry Cavill was
Yeah.
really let down by so many things around him and outside of his control. First and foremost, being paired with Zack Snyder. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Minor slip up. We can edit that part out. But no, man, I was look, man, I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, and this is before the Snyderverse, right? And that first, that very first Man of Steel, it just had a vibe that was not a universe starter, right? If one thing I can say about this James Gunn Superman is this this felt like a universe starter, for better or worse, right? There's some downsides to that that we'll get into, but whereas Man of Steel felt like I don't know. I hate to bring up the comparison, right? But um, when Marvel did a movie that had the vibe of Man of Steel, what was it? Thor or maybe Thor: The Dark World? But we were like what, 4 or 5 movies in at that point, right?
Yeah, it was still new. Phase
Yeah,
two.
but no, but it wasn't the first one, right? There had been other MCU stuff, and
Yeah.
then they did
Oh yeah.
something that had that vibe, right?
Yeah.
Zack Snyder started DCEU there, and I just don't think that was the move to make. Not with that
Mm,
vibe.
yeah. Well, to be honest, a lot of people do say that DC is more mature than Marvel. So he probably went that route.
Well,
I mean, I do recall growing up liking DCAU more than Marvel animated stuff, outside of
Yeah,
the '90s Spider-Man animated series. But
of course.
I do remember like Saturday morning cartoons. If it was between the DC and Marvel thing, I was watching the DC probably over the Marvel one. That I do remember.
100%. I don't know if I could remember a time where. I mean, I grew up in an era where there was a lot to consume, right? There was a lot of great cartoons to consume. So superheroes really never took the main stage, at least in my youth. There were certain
Mhm.
superheroes that I knew and that I loved through comic books because I would read comic books, but I wouldn't say I was as glued to the animated shows as most. I saw the gems. I've seen, the Batman animated series. I've seen, Batman Beyond. I've seen The Amazing Spider Man, X Men, the original one. But to say that that's what I was watching in cartoon form back in the day, I wouldn't say that that's what I was watching. My love for these heroes really did come from like a comic book standpoint.
Yeah, I think for me it was like the animations and like the TV shows that made me fall in love with them. Because I also, growing up, I had like insomnia. Like I would never go to sleep, so I would always be up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And around like the mid 2000s, that's when like the Marvel shows came on.
Yeah.
So I would watch the Incredible Hulk show. I would watch the Iron Man show, the Spider Man, X Men 90. Oh, I was about to say X Men 97.
Yeah.
The X Men the 90, the X Men the animated series.
See, but
Like I would watch those a lot.
you also grew up in like a different time, watching like a different set of shows. A lot
Mhm.
of the shows that you, I guess, technically grew up watching, me and Julio haven't either taken the time to watch it or haven't really been introduced to them.
Yeah, or the shows you guys saw, I saw like the reruns.
Yeah, 100%.
I,
Um,
I I
Yeah.
think streaming helps. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
nowadays, yeah,
if you were into X-Men as a kid, like I was, you waited week by week to watch an episode. If any kid today wanted to get into the old X-Men episodes, they can just like watch the whole thing like
yeah.
in about 2 weeks probably,
They got
right?
everything at the tip of a button.
Yeah. So like being able to binge them, I think is like something that's different for the kids these days, right? Not like us
Yeah, yeah. We
having
didn't
to
even
wait.
have DVR sometimes. Yeah,
Man, no, I had to wait and see what happened. Anytime one of these X-Men episodes ended with "to be continued," I was like, God, I was like, I don't even know if I'm be able to watch next week.
I know.
Got things to do, man.
Me, I would have to pray that they would show the next episode. Sometimes they would just play random ones.
Oh yeah, I would remember
Mhm.
coming home, rushing home to try to catch like the next episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! And some weeks it would be like a rerun or it'd be like an episode out of place because I guess the studio just didn't get the episode that week, and it would
Mm.
suck, man. It would suck. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this Superman definitely felt like a symbol of hope to me. It embodied everything that I wanted from a Superman film from Henry Cavill. But like you said, I don't think it was Henry Cavill's fault. He just fell under the circumstances that were given to him through the contracts and the deals that were made. But
Yeah.
I know that Julio, you're a very very anti Snyderverse. I don't know, contributor. Boya, you
Yes.
actually stand. I don't think Julio knows this, but you actually stand on the opposite side of that fence. Um, Hearing everything that Julio's had to say about the Snyder universe, how do you feel about his comments? I guess.
Remember,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the
Yeah.
Snyderverse I dislike, but it's Zack Snyder himself. So I mean, the Snyderverse just falls under that. But no, no,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. I didn't know that Zack Snyder just ruined your whole take on DC live action movies. Like if you weren't excited for James Gunn Superman, then yeah, Zack Snyder really did a number on you. But yeah, no, I don't really blame him for his take on the Zack Snyder verse. I think it started off really strong for me. It did lose me towards the end, but the first movies, Man of Steel, I loved it. But like I said, I'm not a big Superman fan.
That makes
But
sense.
and Batman vs Superman, I loved it. Ben Affleck is my definitive live action Batman.
He's a good one.
Wonder Woman was good.
Interesting choice, but I
Yeah,
respect it.
yeah. The most accurate to me, besides all the murdering, which is a big part to some people, but it's The Dark Knight, right?
Julio,
Wonder
who's
Woman was
your
good.
Batman?
Yeah, that's a good
Who's
question.
oh man, who's my
Michael
definitive
Keaton
Batman?
probably.
Yeah, it is Michael
And
Keaton,
Michael
man.
Of
Keaton.
course,
Yeah, that makes
that wasn't
sense.
even the question for him.
We remember.
Jesse, who's yours? Who's yours? I'm curious for yours,
Yeah,
Jesse.
go ahead.
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go with Pattinson. I like Pattinson right now. I like Pattinson.
I
If we're
like that
going
take.
old,
Robert Pattinson. Okay, so the Batman, the
yeah,
most recent one though.
yeah,
Yeah, I
because
respect it, man.
it gives it a different vibe. It gives it that kind of like darker tone that some of the like the earlier comics had, um, which I feel like they really tried. They tried that with the Nolan films, but they went more of like the grand cinema take than the gritty cinema take, and that's what I
Yeah.
don't know. I've slowly become a Patterson fan. Like I wasn't a Patterson fan. His reputation with Twilight and all that, like it kind of like
Mm.
muddied the water with him, at least for me. But as soon as he started, putting out like films like the one where he's like, he's got the challenged brother and he's like trying to rob a bank.
Good
Oh
time.
yeah, the one
Good
he's got that
times, good
Jersey
times,
accent.
good
A24
times.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
agent.
that was
Safdie Brothers.
that's a good
Like
movie.
I
That's a great
turned a
movie.
page on him, so when I heard that he was going to be the Batman, I was excited, and he definitely did not disappoint. He gave us that emo, edgy, dark Batman that we all wanted, and they even did a crazy
You,
take on the Riddler. So I very much enjoy that
you
universe
know,
right now.
you know, I might be with you. I potentially might be giving Michael Keaton too much credit because
Mhm.
I'm crediting him for no, I'm crediting him for stuff that's outside of his control because his Batman movies were made by Tim Burton, and
True.
anyone who's been listening from the beginning of this podcast knew that my favorite movie was The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton's. So like his Batman had a Prince soundtrack. For Christ's sakes,
Yeah.
Prince. Okay, if anyone has any idea of what Prince was at the time, to get him to do an entire album, the Prince totally unrelated to, you know what I mean? Like, what does Prince have to do with Batman? Who cares? We got a whole Prince album out of it, okay?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, so I may be giving Michael Keaton too much credit, but I'm sticking with my choice, man. But if I had to go to a second one, I'd be right there with you with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, he was a good one.
You can keep
He still
going
is
on
a good
your
one.
on your Wonder Woman you were talking
My
about.
yeah,
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
I
ahead,
was
go ahead.
saying that the DC universe, the DC EU at the time, it started off good for me. I would say that it fell off around the Justice League time due to the switch in directors and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it started off really strong, and I still love those movies to this day, like Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, and Man of Steel.
I actually
But
was a
yeah, like
fan. I was a fan of those Wonder Woman movies, and I'm pretty sure you and me. I would say we've already talked about this. You and me watched the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, and I would say that both of us were excited for what would have come from those movies. Julio, did you get a chance to actually watch the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie, or did you just completely skip
I did.
it?
No. I gave it a shot. See, here's the thing about me. Um, as we do more of these, people are gonna find out I'm the hater in the group. Okay, that's me. That's my spot. Okay, man.
okay, okay.
I set my alarm early, so I have extra time to hate in my day. No, I'm just messing with you guys. No, but here's the thing. If I hate on it, it's because I saw it. Okay, I'm not just gonna blindly hate on it and then choose not to watch it. Right.
Yeah,
Um, I will say this about Snyderverse. I wanted to like it, okay?
Mhm.
It's not I remember when Snyderverse launched, I already did not like Zack Snyder as a filmmaker. Fine. I set that aside. I've gone Jesse, I think I was with you when I saw Batman v Superman. I think we saw that together in theaters.
I think we did, yes.
I want to say. Okay. So like you know I gave it a chance. You know I
Mm-hmm.
tried, okay? I will say this. My favorite DCEU was probably Shazam. Unfortunately, the reason I think it was my favorite is because it was the least Snydery movie out of all of them, and I thought that's what it did, and it had a good soundtrack, man.
I
I'm
actually
sorry,
haven't watched
Queen.
the Shazam movies.
You haven't seen that? Okay, the
No,
first
I
one,
haven't.
Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now" plays like in its entirety for the closing credit. I love it, man. Whatever. Like, the first Shazam movie is probably the one I like the best out of the Snyderverse, but it's because it was the least Zack
Snyder.
Snydery or whatever.
Yeah.
But your original question on this was, did I see Zack Snyder's Justice League?
The
Yes. Now,
the
we
director's cut,
in
right?
the director,
Yeah,
the 4 hours. I think
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like on
yeah.
HBO. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we probably will at one point. We can make a whole episode about what went wrong and like why Zack Snyder stepped away from Justice League originally, and
Yeah.
they brought in Joss Whedon. And look,
Yeah.
man, that's gonna be a whole other thing. Okay, Zack Snyder's Justice League. First of all, I went into it hopeful. And before the opening credits even started, I remembered why I hate Zack Snyder, and you two will attest to this. Before you start Zack Snyder's Justice League, what does it say? This is going to be broadcast in 4:3 to bring you the vision of the. Now I'm like, you know what, man? If you know what, man? If I didn't need that TV, I damn near threw my control at the TV because I had to watch. You guys remember? You guys remember, right? It's in 4:3.
Yeah.
The Zack Snyder Justice League because of Zack Snyder's. God,
Yeah.
look, man, my hate is justified. Okay, but whatever. Look, we got past it. I gave it a shot. It's broken down like episodes, which I think is nice,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah. It
you
is
heard me say
long.
earlier. Well, no, but also you guys heard me say earlier that I really appreciate when movies break down certain things because so like the people who don't catch on those things can keep up with it, and I feel that helps break it down to like Act 1, Act 2, Act and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I understand what Zack Snyder was going for. And I even like some of the extra stuff he did on his cut, right? However, I am reluctant to give him credit because a lot of the extra stuff he did on his cut of Justice League was done after knowing how much people hated what he was originally going for. So I can't really give him credit for that, man. That's cheating. You know what I mean? Don't get me
I
wrong.
see that. Okay,
Don't get me
that's
wrong.
fair. That's fair.
I I loved that nightmare sequence at the end. That is the 20 best minutes of Snyderverse he ever made
100%.
that he was never gonna make until he heard all that hate, right? So like it's just really hard for me to give him credit because it's like that wasn't your plan, fam. That was not your plan, dude. You heard all the hate, and apparently it must have been true because you went ahead and changed course. Like, didn't they even give him like extra money or whatever? And they shot extra and everything. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give him
Really
the
did.
credit because they went ahead and did it, but that wasn't his plan, right? Credit to him though to be able to hear the feedback and try to pivot.
Yeah.
But a
I
day
mean,
late and a dollar short, fam.
but
You know
like
what
you
I mean?
said, like that last bit that he actually did get to put in there, though, like it kind of got you excited for what could have come. It sucks that it will never come. Even
Could
like
have.
the arrival of like Martian Manhunter at the end. That shit is sick as fuck. But like we'll never get that now. We'll never
Nah,
get that now.
that
And
Nightmare Superman with like villains and heroes all working
Yes,
together
he
and
bro,
was
like
bro,
teasing
it was
Injustice.
Funkos were huge at that time, and just goes to show you, I wasn't even a huge Batman fan. I spent hours hunting down that Nightmare Batman, and I never got it.
that was
I never got it. So
No?
that whole Nightmare sequence is so sick. Like, their costumes, just the visuals of it all is cool. But that type of, and this is a question I want to pose to both of you. Um, with superheroes becoming the forefront of cinema again, at least for now, do you guys like the direction it's going in? Because we used to be in this very dark era of superhero movies where everything was highly overproduced, highly darkened, made to look gritty, but now we've transitioned. We've gone through phases, right? We've gone through that dark era, we've went through the funny era, and it seems like we're finally in the era of sticking to the source material and trying to give fans what they want. So do you guys like where it's going? Did you like it more where it was before?
if I can, I want to go
Go.
second here.
Go ahead.
I got a reason. I want to go second here. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, yeah. I do like the direction it's going, We're getting comic accurate suits now. We're getting we're just getting I was gonna say we're getting good movies, but it's still kind of like a roller coaster with the MCU with good movies, bad movies. You know, one year they'll make a good movie, then they'll make a bad movie, and then a good movie. So it's still like a roller coaster for Marvel. But with DC, I still think that with Superman, it got me really hopeful for the next movies. I feel like DC is just gonna go straight to the moon right now after Superman.
Julio,
Kind of
take.
forgot the
I love
question
it.
there. Yeah.
Oh, no, I love it. To the moon. All right. Um, set aside a few minutes here, people, because I was
I'm
waiting for
ready.
this exact question. A bit of a history lesson time, okay? What is a
Mm,
superhero movie? Okay, so I did some research, right? Because let's get one thing straight. There's comic book movies, right?
yes.
You know, your Flash Gordons, your Dick Tracy, but they're not exactly superheroes, but they are comic book movies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is a superhero movie? I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about where we've been to where we're going. So within my research, I did discover that even while the first comic book movie is considered Flash Gordon, 1936, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's universally agreed upon that the first superhero movie was DC's The Adventures of Captain Marvel. Uh, you kids know him as Shazam now.
Yeah.
Whole story about why they had to change the name. Surprise, surprise! A company called Marvel Comics came up, but yeah, and this was 1941, right? And that's pretty much considered the first superhero film. And since then, you know, believe it or not, throughout history, there have been a lot of superhero films. And this is nothing official. This is just the way I understand it. And I'm gonna call it that there there have been three ages of superhero movies, okay? We're currently in the third age, all right? So age one, you know, starts probably 1941, Captain Marvel. This will include your the original um Marvel movie, which was a Captain America movie back in 1944, right? This will include your Adam West Batman, which that movie was actually born from the show. You had to have been watching the show up to the point of the movie, right? 60s and everything. Let's call that age one. Not much is known about it. Maybe one of these days we're gonna have our own little movie marathon about that. But where I jump in, what didn't even jump in, this is what I saw as a kid. I call it age two, which officially to me begins with Superman 1978, Christopher Reeves. I think at that point is where you enter age two of superhero movies. This era includes Batman 1989. This era includes the original unreleased Fantastic Four movie, the one that people like go to Comic Cons looking
94.
for. Yeah,
Yeah.
94. Yeah, guy. Um, and to me personally, that second age of movies goes up all the way until 2012's The Avengers, which is
Oh
where
wow.
we are now. Yeah, you would think that, right? Because I thought I was gonna cut that off at
Yeah, I
Iron
would
Man,
say
which was
before the
2008.
MCU. Yeah.
Well, no, you would think so, but
Yeah.
and I gave that some thought, okay. But the thing is, um, Christian Bale Batman's went all the way up to 2012,
Mm,
and to me, those Christian Bale Batmans were still made in the way that like the Christopher Reeve Supermans were made, and those first Batmans, and you know, we also had the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans are in part of that
mm,
second era of superhero movie making, right?
yeah.
Self-contained for the most part, and because a lot of Phase One Marvel is pretty self-contained. Mostly Tony Stark. Only Tony Stark shows up in the first two Iron Mans.
Yeah.
Captain
Hmm.
America. So like, even though the MCU had already started, those movies were still being made in the same vein as like Superman 1978. But once 2012's Avengers hit, and hit it did, okay, all of a sudden every movie wanted to be this witty back and forth banter, team ups. You know, everyone besides your superhero movie being like a thing, everyone wanted to know, oh, who's gonna come out in it? Who's gonna make an appearance? Who's gonna,
That is true.
so and that's where we are now, age three. So I'm just calling them like that. None of these are official. I'm pretty sure if we can ever speak to some Hollywood historian or movie expert, he'd school me on my theory and tell us something different, right? Or set us straight. But I break it down like that. We are currently in the third age of superhero movies. Um, they did start with, and this age began with Avengers 2012. So the thing about that is that this age started with a bang, but we quickly stumbled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Superhero movies haven't been doing too well the past what 3 years, five, if I'm being really nitpicky, right?
Since COVID, since Endgame, it's been a roller coaster since Endgame. I think.
Yeah. Well, no. I think some of the Spider-Man movies came out after Endgame. The Tom Holland Spider-Man
Tom
movies.
Holland, yeah. The second one was right after Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were still doing good there. We were still doing good there. For me personally, I think ever since the third Tom Holland Spider-Man, superhero movies have not been doing it for me, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Superhero shows maybe Invincible, The Boys, for better, right? Superhero shows might be still doing it for me, but I was a little burnt out on my superheroes.
And
I'm
that's
being
something
honest.
that's
Yeah.
something that me and Mark recently talked about too, is that like there are other superhero properties that people just
Mm-hmm.
don't give that spotlight because it's not Marvel or DC. Invincible is a
Yeah.
phenomenal fucking show.
Invincible
You
is
brought
really
up
It
good.
is
Invincible and The Boys.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
mean,
The Boys is a
people,
phenomenal show. Gen V is a
people,
phenomenal show, but they don't
and
get that
anyone
Yeah.
who's
spotlight,
listening,
you know?
yeah, anyone who's listening, if you haven't checked any of that out, do yourself a favor. You could binge stuff in a weekend. I think Gen V, I binged it in a day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
only
that's
eight
only one
episodes, right?
season. Season 2 coming
Yeah,
out later this year, so
yeah. And
Yeah.
season 5 of The Boys is due soon too, I think, which will be the last one as well. So
Yeah. They're closing it out.
yeah.
I think all
So
three
this.
shows we mentioned should be on Amazon Prime,
Oh,
Amazon
okay.
Video. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, people, do yourself a favor. Like, I get it. Trust me, I was there. I've been burnt out on superheroes also. Not burnt out on movies,
Yeah.
but burnt out on superheroes. But there was
I think it was Marvel that burnt us out because they were just putting them out the shows, movies, 3 shows a year. They were just burning us out.
and
Nah,
honest
I wasn't happy with DC stuff either, man. I'm not no, no, I'm not just gonna blame Marvel. I'm not just gonna blame Marvel. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna call it burnout. Like maybe if I should have grew better numbers because I could be like, look, man,
Yeah.
how many superhero movies have there been since 2012's Avengers, right? I don't know how many, but let's I'll
In
give
the
you an
MCU
example.
alone, it's like 25.
Okay, before that, from 1941, which was what I'm telling you guys was the first age of superhero movies.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get to 25 superhero movies in comparison to,
There
you know what I
isn't.
mean?
yeah.
I don't think there
Yeah,
is 25.
yeah, there probably is. Let me see. I mean,
Maybe.
Superman alone had three of them. Batman had
Yeah.
No, there's
about
got to
four.
be
So I'm
3.
just,
Yeah,
there's
there's
at
yeah,
gotta be
least
more.
at least
but you get what I'm saying. When
yeah.
superhero movies first started, it took a long time to get up to 25 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As comparison to ever since 2012's Avengers, how long did it take to get to 25 more superhero movies past that? So
Yeah.
to just look at like, the condensed output as opposed, right?
Yeah.
So that I
Yeah.
think that has something to do with it too. That back in the day, decades passed before 25 superhero movies existed, and now like I would say we've had 25 in the last 15 years, if not more.
That's true. Let me bounce off to
Yeah.
something that you said earlier. You said that we kind of got to a point where we were just waiting to see who's the next person to show up on these movies, right?
Yeah.
James Gunn took a very different approach to his post-credit scenes. They don't progress anything within the storyline. They don't progress the DCU in any way, and he said that he did that on purpose because we've grown accustomed to seeing what's next at the end of the movies, and he just doesn't think that's the way he wants to carry on. Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys like the fact that maybe James Gunn's universe isn't going to be having these post credit teases?
Me
Did he say that?
personally,
Did he say that? I don't keep up like that, but did he really said that?
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear about that, but
Oh, okay.
okay. I think I like that, because a lot of times these end credit scenes they don't even play out. Like look like Kang the Conqueror, that end credit scene with the
Hmm.
whole like arena with Kane, the Ant Man. I think it
He
was Ant
means
Man
Ant-Man 3,
Quantumania.
Quantumania. Okay,
Yeah,
just make sure.
yeah, that one.
uh,
That end credit scene that led nowhere. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. You know, not like get people's hopes up and stuff. Like the movies would just come along together like on itself. The stories are there. We just gotta wait for them to play out on screen.
I mean, if he really said that, then good. You know what? Good. I appreciate it because yes, as someone who doesn't hide the fact that he was burnt out on superhero movies until you convinced me to watch this one, good. I'll give another example of something that was shown and then never came to fruition. look at what happened at the end of the Black Adam movie, right? Didn't we see like
Henry
a face?
Cavill.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a face off
Henry
with
Cavill pulled up at the end of
Black
that movie. Yeah.
Black Adam? Yeah. So like see, and where did that go? Nowhere, thankfully. But all these good. You know what? If James Gunn is gonna bring some, these aren't even new ideas. He's just bringing us back to normal movie making, I would say. But if he's gonna steer us back to normal movie making and take this somewhere where people actually are gonna be into it, then good. I like that then.
Let me
It's a
read what I
welcome
have.
change for me.
Let me read what I have online. It
The
says
quote
James
he put.
Gunn has a nuanced approach to post-credit scenes in the UCU. While he acknowledges their appeal to audiences, he is cautious about using them solely for setting up future projects that might not materialize or evolve as initially planned. So he's on the same page as you guys are.
That we
Like
just said. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't want to set something up and then for it to just not be a thing. So I personally, when I did not know that that was his take when I sat through Superman the first time. I was expecting something big, and I would say that as a spoiled, and I'll admit it, as a spoiled bratty fan, I was mad at the beginning. I was all like, why the fuck did this not set anything up? But looking at it, a couple days later, a couple watches later, you don't need to. I don't need to sit around, a couple extra minutes in the movie theater. I could just get up and go because I know that whatever he filmed for those isn't going to be carrying on towards other movies. Now, if one day he decides to do that, well, cool, and it'll be a very special moment because he typically doesn't do it. But I actually appreciate the fact that these post-credit scenes are either, a blooper or maybe just like a funny scene that he wanted to film. Because honestly, not everything has to set us up for the next thing. Or if anything, let Marvel do that. Let Marvel keep that kind of trope going, and I'm fine with DC just not going that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. This is a welcome change.
We've seen where we've been and how far we've come, yet somehow at times it feels like we've taken major steps back instead of strides forward. Do you think that we're finally at the point where we understand that what fans want is better than what a big production company wants? Or do you think that production companies will still try to kind of, take over the projects once they've had some kind of success in the eyes of the fans?
I
I
think
think the fans have too much to say. Sometimes the fans be greedy, like you said earlier, and they just say what they want online. But I think we should have more faith in the movie studios, and I think they know what they're doing. Like, like I think that quote you just said from James Gunn, he didn't say he was never gonna do like an end credit scene that ties into a movie. He just said that like I think he said he'll do it like if it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like when we do see a DC like end credit scene, it will get us even more hype, because we're gonna be used to seeing just little gags, just to get people to like say through the credits, whatever.
That makes sense.
feel
What was the last part you said right now? Yes, the
about
question.
studio. No, the studio's taking over.
Yeah, but you
Is
think
it
that the
best
studio
for?
should get more faith in the
Yeah,
fans?
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no, but like I said, yeah, I think the fans have too much to say. Like when they, like the whole Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, when they gave us the John Krasinski, Reed Richards, I think that was just to shut the fans up, because they
You
were
think
I was
just
so?
I was
bitching.
I
They were
was
just
never
they
hang
were
on
just
hang
complaining.
on I was never on board with that. Okay, like I Jesse knows. Look.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought the fans wanted him as Reed Richards because it was a goofy thing. Like he was Jim from The Office, so goofy, so he can play
Really?
a genius. I didn't no. Initially, I didn't know that people wanted him as Reed Richards because they thought he looked like him. I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I thought
I
too. The
Oh,
no,
looks,
I didn't. I
that's
never
what
thought
I
that. I thought
thought.
people needed their glasses
because he
fixed.
does look like him
Honestly,
with the beard.
Oh, so
no, he
you
does.
don't think he does? You don't think
I don't.
John
Oh,
Krasinski looks like Reed Richards then?
No,
mm,
I do. I do not.
That's
I do
crazy.
not
What?
like.
I
I
would
think he
Man,
say,
does. When Reed Richards has a beard, when he has a beard, he looks just like him.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just
John
saying.
Krasinski nose is a little big, but he still looks like him with
nah,
the
man.
beard.
I thought it was a joke because he's such a goofball and Reed Richards is such a genius. And
Nah,
then someone told me, maybe it was you, Jesse, like, nah, people want it because they think he looks like Reed Richards. I
Yeah,
go,
they
which
do.
Reed
Yeah,
Richards? Like, what?
he
What in what
yeah,
does
art style?
though.
Like,
he.
deviant art? Reed Richards? Like, what are we talking here, man? Hold on, man. Nah, to me, that man has never looked like Reed Richards. Like, nah, but remember, I'm a contrarian,
Yeah.
okay? Because like, Like I'm not just sitting up in here hating on John Krasinski.
Yeah,
Okay,
nah.
he was in The Office, man. He's
Yeah,
married to Emily Blunt in real life.
yeah.
Okay,
He's a winner.
he's in Quiet Place
A
franchise. I
quiet
don't think he
place.
directed
Yeah.
them, but look, man. I'm taking nothing away from John Krasinski. I'm just saying he doesn't like Reed Richards to me, man. I don't know where
Yeah.
people got that from.
Well, he
I
was
don't.
a fan casted, so I think the fans did cast him because he looked like him.
Yeah,
But
no,
like
no.
I
I
said, I
know he
think the
was a
fans
fan
have too much
cast. I just
control.
didn't know it was
Yeah,
for that reason. Like to
because he was.
me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, to most of the world, he does look like Reed Richards, I guess.
yeah.
But that's like another thing. Like, I bet he would have made a terrible Reed Richards if you put him in the Fantastic Four that we got this year. He probably wouldn't have been bad.
I
He probably would
mean,
have been terrible. But Pedro Pascal, to me, he doesn't look like Reed Richards, but he
hundred
acted like
percent.
Reed Richards. He talked like Reed Richards.
Yeah, I mean,
The fans
look,
would have
man.
never casted Pedro Pascal, but I think we just
Look,
gotta have faith in these studios. They know what
look,
they're doing. Hopefully, for the most
look,
part.
man. I play Marvel
This
Rivals occasionally,
company
all right?
shell, dude.
I don't see no John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic skin, all right? I occasionally play Marvel Rivals. I don't see nothing in there that looks like no John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got an MCU John Krasinski, Reed Richards skin, and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
That is true. That is true.
But yes, moving
But yeah,
on
that's
from
what I
that.
think about that. I think that I don't think the fans should have too much control. Yeah, I mean sometimes we do. Sometimes these studios be slacking off, having bad CGI when they have all the money in the world to make a good movie. That's when I do think that like we should put these studios in check. Not just make them take our money just because they're putting out a superhero movie that we love.
I just feel
Um,
like I feel like companies need there can be a medium part, right? You can have the companies have their say, but they also need to be able to understand what they're doing. Um, one big thing that I would point out is we also recently got to watch Fantastic Four. At least me and Boyo did, and one of
Yes.
my biggest gripes in that movie is that Mr. Fantastic wasn't pulled far enough. He wasn't pulled far enough,
Yes.
and I feel like that is a company decision that they took just so that it wouldn't look goofy. And this is something that has been bothering me because whether it looks goofy or not, it's gonna come off the same way. It's a superhero movie, and one company that has actually taken the stride at embracing the goofy aesthetic and the goofy approach to filming is Netflix with One Piece. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to watch it, the fans out there, a season 2 trailer dropped, and we see Luffy stretch out his hands multiple times on screen, and it doesn't look pretty. I'm not gonna say it looks the best, but it gets the point across of what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to stretch, and there's supposed to be multiple, fists flying at you, and it looks fine. It looks, for what I'm watching, for what I'm expecting to see, it looks fine. And I feel like bigger film companies don't want to take that silly approach because it, quote unquote, looks silly in their eyes. So I feel like there needs to be a medium between the companies accepting some of the more eccentric parts of a superhero franchise and being allowed to do their big budget bullshit.
And like
I
what
don't
happened
think.
with Miss Marvel, I think I heard somewhere that they changed her powers to look more cosmic instead of the stretching like it is in the comics
Mm-hmm.
because it would have looked goofy.
Wait, you
Yeah.
mean Captain Marvel?
No, no, Miss
No,
Marvel.
Miss Marvel,
Oh,
Kamala
the
Khan.
show, the show. Yeah, okay, the
Yeah,
show.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
No, I don't think this is an issue with superhero movies per se, though. Like this is just Hollywood movie making. There's plenty of examples of movies that are not superhero movies that studio involvement changes them. You know,
Well,
mm,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
got a good
Company
movie.
involvement. Yeah,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think this
just a
is
hero movie thing.
just superhero movie issue. This is just the Hollywood machine at work here. You know, like
yeah,
for as much as you and I and the three of us, I mean, see
yeah,
movies as an art medium, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate them. This is a business for them, right? Like if there's like money has to be involved. They're in this to make a profit,
That's
right?
true.
So like, and we see it as an art medium. We see it as something to be discussed and appreciated and preserved, Criterion Collection and all that. One of the great movies we discussed a while ago, Dazed and Confused. financial disaster, lost money. They
100%.
spent too much money on the soundtrack, right? On licensing the songs, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they never did another one. All right. So like, at the end of the day, studios are in this for making money. And yeah, we need to like understand that whether as fans, whether we like it or not, there's always going to be that studio involvement. They got to try and turn a profit,
True.
right? And there's always going to be that Hollywood accounting. People who've been keeping up with the posts saw my little fun fact about Batman 1989 being considered a financial failure, right? Due to
Yeah.
Hollywood accounting. You guys can see I'm doing air quotes. Hollywood accounting, right? Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. About $1 billion in the box office, right? A financial failure for WB supposedly, right? They lost money on Order of the Phoenix, right? So that's always going to be a thing. That's not even just superhero movies. That's everywhere. The most we can hope for is that we make certain superhero movies successful enough for the studios to want to take a chance on other projects that we'd like to see. I think that's where the fan involvement should be. We should be like, hey, look, man, we supported this movie over here, right? Now, please give us this other movie over here. We supported that movie, made $1 billion. Give us this. Like I don't know, like that's how I think fan involvement should be, right? Now it's not like that. Some fans, now I don't condone this. They'll attack the actors, all that, tweeting at them and tagging them and stuff. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. I'm not for
You could
that.
attack the studios, not the actors.
See, I don't want to attack the studios either, man. Like what we should do as fans is be like, hey, look, like what I'm saying. Hey, look, man, this movie had like only like a $30 million budget, and we, the fans, went out and supported it, and it made, bank. Put more money into projects like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if we see something, because otherwise that's the reason why studios, they always play it safe. Everything has to be,
A tax write-off.
not just tax write-off. No, every movie has to be an IP, has to be a reboot or remake. They don't want to take risks,
Yeah.
Whereas we as fans, our involvement should be pointing out when a risk works. Like, hey, look, man, Jordan Peele. I think he's a good example. He's taken movies that with like minimal budget and made them successful, right?
100%.
Like what was Get Out? I think it was Get Out cost like $1 million to make, and it made 15 million. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, but when you look at making 1,500% return on investment, right?
Yeah.
That's where we should be pointing at as fans. That's what I think our involvement should be. That's just me though, right? I'm just one person. Can't affect change like that, but that's where we should be.
I think we're making good strides with it, with films like a Fantastic Four and a Superman, because with Fantastic Four, they took a lot of risks, going comic accurate at certain points, making this in a different period of time, even. And with Superman, going the brighter colors, the cheesier, comic book action, like they're finally taking strides in the right direction. And I just hope that we don't fall back on some of those, because we have come a long way. We've had a couple bumps in the road between, not only the movies but the TV shows. We haven't even talked about, the financial failures of some of these TV shows, like Secret Invasion and Echo. Like sometimes these projects just don't succeed. But I really do hope that moving forward with the strides that we have made with the project we've recently released, like a Fantastic Four, like a Superman, like an Ironheart, that we continue going in the right direction, because it is an exciting time again to be a superhero movie fan. With that being said, James Gunn has proven himself a man of the fans time and time again, from Scooby-Doo to Superman. So do y'all think that James Gunn has or can bring the DCU from where it's been?
I mean, Zack Snyder's not a hard act to follow. All right, that's just me. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's just that. I'm gonna have that hate. I mean, I think James Gunn is lucky to follow what. I'm sorry, Boyo, but what most generally is considered the disaster that was the Snyderverse. So he got
It was
lucky
a disaster.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, But see,
financially.
like I said before though, I watched almost everything in the Snyderverse, so I feel like I have the right to say I hated
Mhm.
it, right? I'm not just
Yeah.
hating without watching it, but so James Gunn probably is lucky to have such a weak opening act to follow. Um, when we get into our review, once we get to the spoiler part of it, I'll talk about some of the stuff that I thought maybe held the movie back, right? And I did talk to you guys about it, but it kind of was a. It's not the worst thing in the world, but there were certain things that I feel could have made James Gunn Superman better, but it's not a bad reason. But we'll get into that once we get to that part of the review on here. But I think James Gunn is I don't think he's going to be worse in the Snyderverse. So to me, that's already a net positive.
Yeah.
Boyle,
Well, comparing him
thoughts?
to James Gunn. Yeah. You said talk?
Yeah, thoughts.
Oh no, good. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, thoughts. Yeah, well, yeah, like I mean, like, comparing him to Zack Snyder, it's not saying much. But now, I do think that I do think that the DCU is in good hands with James Gunn. I do think he'll have like a good like overview on everything. I am hoping he doesn't direct a lot of the stuff. I don't want everything to feel like a James Gunn movie with all the
Mhm.
comedy and all that stuff. And like there was some stuff in Superman that, for me, it could have been more serious. It was when it was more like more comedy. But yeah, if James Gunn doesn't direct a lot of the stuff, but he like still has like a good like if he still has like a good firm on everything, like how like Kevin Feige does with the MCU,
Yeah,
I
he
think
may
it's in
not
good
direct
hands.
everything. He may not direct everything, but I wouldn't be surprised to see his name as the executive producer on
No, for sure.
whatever
Yeah, that
DC
would be
stuff he
good.
doesn't
Yeah,
direct. Something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't need everything directed by James Gunn. Like I do need a Superman trilogy by James Gunn, but I don't want a Batman movie. I don't want a
Uh,
Swamp Thing. There's some things that James Gunn could do, but there's some things that he should give it to other hands.
And I feel like he will. I mean, we've seen even with
Yeah.
like Otherworld, with the
Mhm.
whole
He's not directing
he's not
Supergirl, I think.
directing that. So like I feel like he has his hands where he wants them. He has them
Yeah,
within Superman, he has them within Creature Commandos, and he's kind of just chilling. He's just overseeing
yeah,
everything else. So I don't think we'll get a ton of James Gunn films. I like you
yeah,
said, I do feel like he should have some hand in some of the other ones. Like I would love it
yeah.
if he was the one doing the lanterns. I'm not
The
sure
Lanterns,
who's
yeah.
doing the
He's got to
lanterns, but
direct Guy Gardner for sure.
yeah, 100%. He's the only one that can lead Nathan Fillion into that role. So uh
Yeah,
definitely James Gunn. I feel like he has a good foot in the door, and he has a great
yeah,
mindset for this kind of stuff because he's
yeah,
proven himself with us. He brought a ragtag team like the Guardians that almost nobody knew about and made them a household name. You can ask anyone now who the fuck the Guardians are, and they will tell you at least one member. So it just goes to show what he can do, and I'm excited to see if he can also do that within the DCU.
yeah. And he's also directed, he's directed Creature Commandos. He's directed Peacemaker season 1 and 2, Superman. So he's directed like everything so far. So
Wait,
I
did,
think he
did
will
did
take a
he
step back.
did he direct all the Peacemaker episodes?
Yeah, season. Maybe I don't know about the episodes, but the
Oh, okay.
seasons I
Because I was gonna
know for
say,
most of the episodes. Yeah,
I enjoyed Peacemaker season one. Like
yeah.
I like
Oh,
that.
that
I
was
didn't
I'm
know he
really
pretty sure
did.
good.
season 2
Like,
is directed by him too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, no. Quick shout out to Peacemaker. Probably the only thing that started during the Snyderverse that I think should be brought
Yeah,
over.
there are still some loose ends with the whole Justice League showing up at the end. Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
At this
Zack
point, you
Snyder's
should go see
Justice
it
League.
though. The second season's coming out soon
Yeah,
too, so
I
that's
might need
that's
to
something.
rewatch it just to get it fresh in my brain.
Yeah, we might have to do a little review on that, a little recap before the new season.
Yeah,
Well, let's go ahead. Julio, you've been itching to get into finally getting to review this movie, so let's go ahead and get our reviews in. I'll start it off real quick. I love this movie. Like I've said it already. This is definitely a new symbol of hope that we've all been craving for, something that we've been looking for, at least within Superman. Not only does Corn Sweat embody Superman, but I would say that the cast itself also embodies themselves in the roles that they're in and helps elevate the environment of this film, from Lex Luthor and his goons to Jimmy Olsen and the Daily Bugle, or the Daily Planet, my bad. the Daily Planet, it all feels cohesive. It feels like a world that's been lived in, a world that we know, and that we're just coming back to, and I really appreciated that. The pacing again feels like a TV show, which I can appreciate. It doesn't feel like there's just one singular big bad out there that's out to get the world. They're dealing sometimes with the real everyday struggles, whether that be galactic or inner city, but there's always something going on, and you definitely feel that. You feel like Superman's been there with the people, and he wants to be a man of the people, and that's something that I've really missed within the Superman movies. So I'm gonna give this movie, honestly, I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is probably one of my bigger movies of the year. Julio, let me get your review. I want to know, out of 5 stars, how much you gave Superman 2025.
Okay, wait. I thought we were doing reels. 5 reels.
Oh,
Five
five
reels.
reels. Okay, 5 reels. 5 reels. There
Yeah,
you go.
hold on. Yeah, hold on.
5 reels.
Hold on,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Cinema Culture Club exclusive. We judge based on reels now.
5 reels
Um,
then.
okay. Okay. So believe it or not, casting. I don't think there was a single bad casting, and if there was, maybe it was in one of the minor characters. All right. One of the girls who worked at the newspaper with them. I already forget if she was the blonde one. I feel like she
Yeah.
added nothing, but I also had a theory that she's gonna be someone else in the franchise. So we'll save that here.
Mm.
Um, Nicholas Holt. I think he had the harder job. Sorry, like David, love you, man. On paper, you had the harder job because following Henry Cavill is no small task, right? But you were Superman, dude. They made you fly. They made you strong. They made you everything. Nicholas Holt had to make us believe that a mortal man can pose a threat to Superman, and he did. Okay, to me, Nicholas Holt makes the movie. He had the hardest job. He succeeded, right? Um, what I like is that we didn't waste any time. No origin story, so we didn't do that. We didn't waste valuable runtime on that. At this point, at this point, I feel like kids are born knowing that Superman came from another planet. Kids are born knowing that the spider bit Peter Parker. Kids are born knowing that Usagi took a band-aid off of the cat's head and became Sailor Moon. Deep cut right there for some of the fans. So like there are some origin stories that we just don't need to retrace. They're just so well known, right? And this movie didn't waste our time with that. Pacing was great. I don't think there was any dead spots in the movie, not to me. Um, Score. You know what? I didn't notice any of the music, and I don't
Oh,
mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, you know how some movies like Batman, Hans Zimmer, you notice a Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer score, and I didn't really notice a score in this movie, but that's not a bad thing. Now, I couldn't tell you what the melody of this movie was, right? But so far, it's not a bad thing. So everything everything was there. Um, I'm just trying to keep it without spoilers, right? So I thought the castings were great. I thought the scenes were good.
you
Um,
go ahead into spoilers. We go ahead into spoilers.
no, we're gonna discuss it. I'll give my reels for now. I'm actually giving this one 4.25 reels. I'm sorry,
Four
man.
and a
I
quarter.
can't go
Okay.
5.
No, you're
I, I
good.
I will I will break it down in the spoiler talk why I didn't go 5 because I do think it could have gone 5, but 4.25 for a movie that like on the surface, one, I didn't want to see, and two, I know that it's establishing stuff. Like I know that its only existence is to establish other stuff, and I still enjoyed it, right? So that's where we are.
All right, and Pollo, what do you actually, Julio? What? Oh, you give your score. Okay,
Yeah,
Pollo,
four and a quarter.
what?
Yeah, four and a
Four and a
quarter
quarter.
reels.
4.25 reels.
Let's hear from you. Let's get a little review. And out of 5 stars, how much did you give Superman
All
2025?
right. Out of 5 reels, I ended up giving it 4.5 reels,
Ooh,
which is not
okay.
bad. I feel like I'm pretty generous when I'm ranking movies, and like I know
Mm-hmm.
like all the hard work that goes into them. So like a 4.5. What is it? Like an 85%? That's still a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, hmm, yeah, it was a good movie. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but it did get me hopeful for the movies, and I did enjoy the movie. You know, James Gunn did his thing with the movie. It's not my favorite James Gunn movie. I would say that maybe top three, but yeah, I might have to. Like I was going into it thinking that it was gonna be James Gunn's best movie in my opinion, but it wasn't, which was a little bummer. But it was still good. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It got me hopeful for the whole universe and everything. Um, what else? Yeah, maybe 4.5 is a little high for it. 4.5 reels. I might have to
That's it.
bump it down to a 4 reels.
Or
4 reels out of 5.
okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of like serious moments. Like I like the scene in the end when Superman is he's telling Lex how he's just as human as he is. It was a great speech, and then it just gets interrupted by Crypto. Comes flying through the window and starts beating up Lex, and then it just ruined the whole speech for me. But it was still good. The score was good. I love the punk rocker song. It put me on. I
Yeah.
love
Actually,
the original theme.
hold,
You know, just
hold,
the Superman theme for the movie. That's a good one. I love it
hold on.
every time I hear it.
I
Yeah,
gotta
go.
cut in. I gotta cut in here real quick. Remember, no.
Yeah.
The punk rock song, that's soundtrack. Remember, score and soundtrack are
Oh,
different.
score. Yeah.
Score
Okay.
is like the original like instrument
Yeah, just
music
the
they create.
composer.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
composer. Whereas soundtrack
Mhm.
are the songs that
The songs picked for the
they paid
movie.
a license to play. So
Yeah.
if you like the punk rock, that's soundtrack. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. Remember, we
All
gotta give
right.
the people the facts here.
That's good. Yeah, the soundtrack was good too. But yeah, the score, the original theme. I think that's the only theme I could remember. There might be more, but
There's a couple.
when I hear
There's
that
at
original
least three
score,
I didn't notice
big.
the score that much.
yeah.
I didn't notice the score that much.
Yeah,
Maybe
The
there's
it's
at
just
main one,
least
you can't help but notice the main one.
there's at least like
It's
three
great.
big ones that they were doing like hard like guitar riffs for. So like you'll know at least three of the score themes at
no, yeah,
least.
but like they weren't invasive, you know. They weren't
No, they were
Mm.
invasive.
definitely weren't. No, they definitely weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Honestly
sometimes
I've noticed them more because of social media. If I'm being fair.
mm, yeah, yeah, because sometimes the score it's there to like enhance the scene. You know,
Well,
you
that's its
like
purpose.
the score makes you feel the scene more.
That's generally the idea. It doesn't always play out like that in
Yeah,
certain movies, but that's generally the idea. Yes.
yeah. So I can't really remember any scores besides the main one, which we heard
Okay.
a lot. So, but it was still good. I like the score, the scoring in the movie. But yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it. I like David Cornsweet. Lex Luthor was good. Lois Lane was good. Jimmy Olsen. They all just felt like they just felt like their comic counterparts, and it was just great.
With that being said, Julio, you're itching to get into the spoiler section of this. Let's just go down it. Let's recount some of our favorite
Oh man,
moments.
tr-
I'm gonna
trust me, I'm itching, man. I got an addict's arms over here, man. Let's do it.
I'm gonna start off by just saying that the just straight the intro. The intro was one of my favorite parts. I'm gonna be a little lame and say that the first time I watched it, I cried. I cried a little bit seeing the whole use of 3 centuries, or 3 centuries, 3 decades, 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 days. I felt like that was a phenomenal way of telling us where the fuck we were at that point, and just seeing the Fortress of Solitude, something that you've only really gotten to see properly done in an animated series, being finally done in that big screen was something that brought a tear to my eye. It just, the fan in me finally was happy with what was going on the screen, and I was very excited right off the back just to get straight into it. Julio, what was one
Yo,
of your favorite points in this movie that you want to get to?
hold on, but like with the Fortress of Solitude, right?
Yeah.
Like just between us, like when did Clark Kent become Bruce Wayne? Like the Fortress of Solitude was decked out, wasn't it though? Like, is
Yeah,
it just me or
100%.
like, or he was decked out, man? He has like a giant magnifying glass for the sun. He has robot servants. He's
Yeah, Rowan.
giant computer, like 100-inch. Like, hold on, man. What are we
Yeah,
doing, man? Hold on.
and there's
the whole solitude
Is he
came up
Bruce
from the
Wayne in this
ground.
too? Like, yeah, like is he Bruce Wayne in this too, or
there's
what's
multiple
going on here,
floors
man?
because it's, I mean, we're already on the spoiler part of the show, but when Supergirl shows up, she goes upstairs somewhere, like she goes up a ramp. So
Oh
like
yeah,
the Fortress of Solitude is a place to be.
yeah. Hang on, man. I don't know what theme parks has the rights to this stuff, but they're gonna make the Fortress of Solitude. All right now, oh man, some of my favorite stuff, man. I mean, you already know, man. 1A,
1A.
1A,
Ooh,
1A, 1A. Look, man, Lex Luthor. Damn it. Okay, like seriously, people. Do you know how hard it is to make someone who has no metahuman abilities? Although I'd argue that like they were trying to they try to make you think that Lex Luthor's mind is metahuman in this, but like, you know how hard it is to take someone who's not a metahuman and genuinely make him feel like a threat to someone that is. Okay, like when I was a kid, I thought Superman was boring. Okay, I enjoyed his villains more than I enjoyed him. I had the same problem with Captain America, right? What a long story. Like to me, the greatest match of hero and rogue gallery is Batman. Batman is just as interesting as all his villains, and he has some amazing villains. Okay, Superman was boring. I always liked Lex Luthor better, Brainiac, Bizarro, just every anyone but Superman. So Lex Luthor really made this movie for me. You know, the Justice Gang. Oh my God,
Justice Gang. Hashtag Justice Gang.
and I'm sorry, Hawk Girl, that is not a dumb name. Okay, that is not a dumb name. Nathan Fillion was a very, very welcome addition to me in this. Now,
Yes, dude.
Nathan Fillion has been a almost, I would say, common collaborator with James Gunn in the past, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he is a rookie. He's a rookie to the DCEU. Actually, I don't even know what we're calling this. Isn't DCEU anymore, is it? I don't know what
I
the
think it's
official
just
name is.
DCU.
It's just
Yeah.
DCU now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Nathan Fillion was my favorite member of the Justice Gang. With Hawker a close second. I'm lying. Mr. Terrific. He was pretty
I was
good.
gonna say Mr. Terrific was pretty sick.
Yeah, You know what's funny? Mr. Terrific is in the scene. To me, the most James Gunny scene in the whole movie
Yeah.
involved Mr. Terrific when him and Lois Lane pull up to
The bubble scene.
the beach. Yeah, the bubble scene. They pull up
The
to that
bubble
beach
scene.
camp,
Mm-hmm.
and he puts her in that bubble, and so we're seeing the fight through like Lois Lane's eye from being inside the bubble. That was James Gunn right there. That is James Gunn movie making right there. That scene, and you're watching Mr. Terrific take down all the Luther Corp goons through that like that pinkish peachy filter. That's
Yeah.
James Gunn to me right there. You know that was the most Gunnian scene of the movie for me. That had James Gunn's fingerprints all over it, and I'm here for it, man.
And
I'm here for it.
shouts out to Eddie H.E. on that one too, the guy that played Mr. Terrific, because he embodied a character that if you initially took a look at him, you wouldn't be, super attracted to like, oh, who is this person? But he took that character within this movie, and with
Yo,
the
yo,
help of James Gunn, made it an interesting character.
yeah, yo. Show me anybody who walked into this movie talking about Mr. Terrific's been their favorite their whole life, and I'll show you a liar. Okay, I'll show you now. Show me somebody who walked out this movie talking about that they are interested in Mr. Terrific, and I'll show you someone who's been converted over. Okay.
I mean I can speak on that retrospect because I even told Boyle this going in. I had no idea who the fuck Guy Gardner was. No idea who the fuck Guy Gardner was.
I
I
mean, yeah,
walked
we're
out
all
of
used
that
to Hal
fucking
Jordan.
movie.
Yeah.
I walked out of that movie going, "Give me more Guy. Fuck every other Lantern. Give me more Guy." Because he
Cool.
embodied that character perfectly, And I know we have the Lanterns coming up. We have a whole cast on that now. But
Hold
personally,
on. I will not tolerate Daffy Duck slander like that. Okay. Every other lantern. Yeah, Daffy Duck is a lantern.
yeah,
Look it up, people.
our resident Daffy Duck expert over here. Well, yeah, I mean, I walked away wanting to know more about Guy Gardner, and that's what probably Mr. Terrific did for a lot of people. So, hey, shouts out to him. We've seen his evolution from Twilight to X-Men to now this. So, what an amazing career to see, fully come through.
I don't need your help. I'm Mr. Terrific. Get out the way. all time classic.
I mean,
Boyo, man, what do you got?
he's even said before we get to Boyo, he's even said in an interview recently with Straw Hat Goofy, shouts out Straw Hat Goofy. He was interviewing the Eddie Agee, who plays Mr. Terrific, and he said, "I improvised that. I went up and I asked the guy, can I push your face? It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission." So like he shoved he's like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." And once he did it, James Gunn said, "Cut, do it, but do it harder." And they improvised that line, and it stayed in. But he wanted to give that black kind of like character towards that characteristic towards Mr. Terrific, And again, he embodied that character so well. that character is only going to get more popular going forward, and that could do something with him. They could give him his own show, to be honest. But yeah, Boyo, what was some of your favorite movies in this, favorite parts in this movie? I want to get your thoughts on this.
What I really liked about the movie was all the different characters, like you guys just said, the Justice Gang.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really known characters. I feel like we would have gotten spoiled if we had gotten seen like if we had a chance to see like the Flash or Wonder Woman, like a regular Justice League member in the movie. We would have gotten a little bit spoiled. But I feel like James Gunn did a good job with like the lesser known characters. It made people fall in love with these characters if you didn't know about them already.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then we just got to keep on waiting for the regular Justice League members.
What were for some of your favorite scenes throughout the movie? Some scenes that like definitely stuck out that you're like, that was fucking cool.
Some scenes that I liked. I really enjoyed the Pa Kent scene when they were outside talking on the bench. That was good. What's the name? What's the name? Metamorpho, or what's the name? The guy that could switch.
The one who was in the cell with Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene when he was breaking out his son. That was a good one. I like that character in general. He was one of my favorites of the Justice League or the Justice Gang. He was a good touch. What? Fucking I forgot his name.
Yeah, hang on real quick. Metamorpho. There's another character that like your average fan doesn't know, and now they're like, they're hyped to see him because of his appearance in this.
And that's something that James Gunn has always like kind of stuck to his word, where he was like, I want to, reach into the pocket of DC and bring out these characters that people typically don't know. Like, people know Wonder Woman, people know Superman, but people don't know the Creature Commandos. And then he put out the show, and now it's a very successful animated show. So it's something that he's really good at, is picking out these characters and making them stars, and even having them work well with other characters.
We've discussed that before. That I think James Gunn has a gift for taking these like the most obscure characters and then just making them popular.
100%.
All right, yeah. Like another scene I did enjoy was the end credit scene, or no, was it an end credit scene with the Supergirl, or was that just the end of the movie?
That was before. That was right before the credits. But
right
she
before,
was still in the main movie.
Yeah. That one kind of was an end credit scene because that one it got us. The next movie we're getting, I believe, is Supergirl. So that should like lead us into the next movie. Like it didn't have anything to do with the plot, but we got to meet Supergirl. We got to see what kind of attitude she's gonna have. So that gives us a clue to a comic.
Shout out to Millie Alcock. If
shout
wants to see
out
her other work, check out the first half of season 1 of House of the Dragons. Yeah, that's where I know her from. That's the only other place I've seen her.
I didn't know she was Supergirl until I saw that. But yeah, that was her.
I remember them announcing that, and then I forgot all about it till I saw her at the end there.
I didn't know that she was cast for that.
No, I knew she was cast in it a long time ago, and then I just forgot. I straight up forgot. It's part of that superhero movie fatigue. I was just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you.
But then also when she showed up, I'm like, and where have you been the past 2 hours? We could have used you.
Yeah,
you could have
been
helpful.
Pulled up drunk.
Yeah. How much help would she have been? She was pretty faded by the time she got there.
Okay, but had she been there, she wouldn't have been out getting drunk. So
that's true.
She would have.
I mean, technically, I guess in those, I don't know how long it's gonna take her to travel back, but maybe in those 2 hours she was traveling back when we needed her.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Like I don't even think Superman. I don't even think Superman's gonna bother to tell her that her dog was missing for a day or something.
100% not. Yeah, no. He doesn't want to get his ass beat.
She'll fuck him up, yeah.
But by the way, man. Again, shout out to Lex Luthor, man. This man stole Superman's dog. Well, it wasn't his dog. He doesn't know, but like he stole the dog. Okay, man. I could have sworn I seen another movie where Keanu Reeves just takes down an entire criminal organization for messing with his dog. All right, like, am I mistaken here? No, I'm just messing with you, John. Man,
imagine
you know what I mean? You guys seen what John Wick did for his dog, okay? And Lex Luthor straight up snatches Superman's ugly dog with a cape. Ugly dog with a cape. Ugly dog with a cape. That's what he says. For the people who didn't catch it, because if there's one thing about the movie going experience that I would say I don't appreciate, is I enjoy subtitles even when something's in English. And at the movie theaters, you can't really get subtitles, But like, But yeah, when Superman confronts Lex Luthor about the dog and he's like muttering under the coffee cup, that's what he says, "Ugly dog with a cape," and I'm like, yes, you're right,
But I
you're
mean,
right.
again, that's Holt taking every chance as Lex Luthor to be just a complete hater,
Yeah,
and like we've even seen, now that people are going back and screenshotting, just little details like him having a picture of Mr. Handsome on his desk, like that's just some hater shit
yeah,
to have, like
yeah,
because we've seen that, I think it's Lois has a picture of Superman skywriting something in the sky for her. So like he
yeah.
has obviously got to know that that picture is somewhere, and that's why he got himself a picture of Mr. Handsome to put on his desk, And that's just some hater ass shit. But that was him. He was just the perfect any chance he got. Any chance, even at the point where he killed the pedestrian. I can't remember his name.
No, no, not
That
the
that
the hot dog guy,
the hot dog guy.
Molly.
Middle Eastern guy.
Molly,
No,
yeah.
yeah,
Even when he killed
Molly, yeah,
Molly,
Molly.
when he killed him, he was like, I thought that would have lasted longer. Like, who acts like that after they just blasted someone? Like, that's
Well,
just ultimate hater
the,
shit.
the thing about that is that he was like spinning first of all, he had a revolver, right? And I'm
He's
like, why
playing
does he got
Russian
a
roulette
revolver?
with his
Yeah,
life.
yeah, he was spinning it. But so the thing about that too is that he was serious, man. Like he legit he wasn't playing games, man. If he said he was gonna kill someone to try and get Superman to like talk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then he did it, right? We weren't towing the line, we weren't beating around the bush, man. Lex Luthor abducted people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor ended people. Okay,
He's
like
yeah. He said it himself. He said maybe I'll get that reporter chick you're always doing interviews with.
oh yeah, nah,
Yeah.
yeah. Superman was having none of that though.
Yeah.
And even then, who was it? Metamorpho. He
Yeah.
kidnapped
He.
his baby.
Mhm.
Come on, man. What are we talking about here? Like, I really feel that like nothing was
Yeah.
off limits for Lex Luthor here,
I
right?
mean,
He kind of had the upper hand of Superman the whole movie.
yeah, 100%. He knew him,
Mhm.
and that's again, that's what I appreciate with the not doing an origin story, is
Yeah.
Lex knows Superman now, and he knew him so
Yeah.
well. He knew every move he was gonna make,
One
and that
A,
was
one
yeah,
A.
that
Yeah.
was one
One A,
A, one
one
A,
A,
one A.
one A.
And that was like the entire movie. He just had the upper hand. He knew what Superman was gonna
Yeah.
do, until Superman
Yeah.
finally got the hang of it and was like, oh shit, I could change, the tide of
Yeah.
this war. That's when
Yeah.
he got the upper hand. But
I
until then, Lex Luthor had his number every time.
yeah. I, I,
Yeah.
I think
He.
I think here's where I'm gonna take the chance. Sorry, but you're gonna
No,
wrap
you
me
good.
on
You
this one.
good. You good.
No,
Yeah,
but
you good.
here's where I'm gonna take the chance to say one of the reasons why I didn't give it the 5 full reels
Mm.
is um one, the rating. The rating really held us back here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Lex Luthor shoots Molly in the head, mind you. No blood splatter, no, like
Mm.
no like details like that, right? That
Mm-hmm.
obviously you can't do without going rated R, and we can't have that. We got to make our money, right?
Yeah.
Studios got to make money, so it couldn't be rated R. But like, I just wonder, man, like what kind of shenanigans could Lex Luthor have gotten up to if we were rated R, right? And the only other thing that I felt held the movie back for me is something I mentioned earlier, is that this is a universe starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
remember mentioning it to you too when we were walking out theaters. Man, I wonder what kind of stuff James Gunn would have put in this if this movie wasn't like if the purpose of this movie wasn't to establish a universe and he could have just put everything he wanted to, like he didn't hold stuff back knowing we have to, kick off a universe.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been more, so like not necessarily a bad thing, but something I could tell there was some stuff held back because they're like, no, no, you got to save this for this future project, or no, let's take that idea and apply it somewhere else. So like there's some stuff in here that I know could have been better if this wasn't a movie to establish a universe, and also if it could have been rated R, which I know won't happen, but you know
Yeah.
those two little things, I was like, we could have had 5 reels, but I get it.
Fire.
I get it. We got to establish our universe. But I think James Gunn could have really put some more stuff in this if this would have been self-contained.
Mm. Yeah.
But no, carry on,
But
bro. Carry on. I'm so sorry.
yeah. Yes. I was just gonna say that Lex Luthor had the movie won. The movie would have been over right there when Superman was locked up if it wasn't for Metamorpho fucking
Yeah.
seeing him kill the guy and like switching sides because of that. He's like, all right, you said you could save my son, let's do it.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
mean, that's
but
true.
to your point, yeah, to Julio's rated R point, I feel like it was good how it was. You know, like we did get Lex Luthor starting a whole war, you know, kind of almost a genocide, and we got him like murdering somebody, a, a clean headshot. You know, that was cool enough. I didn't need the whole blood, but I feel like if it was rated R, I feel like people would have said it was the same thing with Man of Steel. How that's not hopeful. That's more darker, not a Superman movie.
Hmm.
Feel like a rated
Wait,
R Superman movie would have been the same
wait,
thing.
what was Man of Steel rated R?
It
You're
wasn't
right.
rated R, but everybody
Was
always
okay.
says that it has like a darker tone. It's like
You're right. It wasn't rated R, but
yeah.
that final the neck snapping on you, that's pretty graphic. I'll give you
The
that.
whole
Yeah,
city, the whole
that was
final scene when
graphic.
they're destroying Metropolis. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't have a superhero movie without any evacuation now because of that movie. Zack Snyder ruined it. In Avengers: Age of Ultron, when the whole country was on the thing, they had a whole evacuation scene. In this Superman movie, they had an evacuation scene. You know, you got to make sure now because of Man of Steel that if you're fighting in the city, the people have to be safe, and that's all because of Zack Snyder and Superman.
I
Oh
But
want
yeah,
to
I feel
get
man.
like it was good. I don't think it needed a rated R rating. I think it was good, but
yeah.
some more violence would have been nice, expecting it from DC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. More violence would probably push it into rated R territory, though. At
true.
least that's what I
Yeah,
think. So, like, I'm not saying it needed to be. I'm just saying we could have had more, but then they run the risk of getting a rating they don't want.
yeah.
And we did
They
have
risk losing
two.
money.
We had two
Hmm.
on-screen deaths technically, right? Because we had Molly
Oh,
who got shot, and then one that you brought up, Julio, because you actually enjoyed the way that it was carried about, was the death of the Moravia president when Hot Girl drops her
Yeah.
from the air. You know, you actually
40 feet
were someone that said you were a big fan of how they actually went about that
executed the
when it
scene.
well, yeah, when
Yeah.
it transitioned from the fall to the, I think it was like a Tums or an Alka Seltzer that was poured into a
Yeah, it
Yeah,
drink.
gets dropped into the glass of water or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you still appreciate that kind of brutality in this movie, or do you think that they probably should have shown that scene?
No, I mean, for remember to get that PG-13 rating, these are the things you have to do.
Yeah.
But I appreciate them alluding to it so
Yeah.
that the smart fans can pick up.
What
Like the
happened?
smart fans or the not smart, the really adept fan, let's call it that. The people with the best observation skills will notice. Which, by the way, shout out to the editor at the newspaper.
Mm.
That's the Bunk from The Wire. Any Wire fans? Bunk Moreland's in this.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's from The Wire. But I do appreciate that brutality because these. Look, man. If they want to give us heavy subject matter like, oh, we don't want Superman interrupting in the affairs of other countries, right? Like, you want to give us heavy subject matter, fine. Then you gotta give us heavy impacting scenes as well. You can't just be sitting up here wanting to talk politics, international politics, and then like give us a half measure when it comes to like the hard hitting scenes like that. And yeah, like I'm gonna say it, Hawk Girl flat out commits murder here. There's no other way of putting it. That's what it is, right?
Yeah. They don't bring it up, but they do. You do know that he's dead.
No, yeah,
I think they
that's
released on
murder.
social media. They released a little
Yeah,
post, like the
yeah, but
Justice Gang
that's
released a little statement about that whole thing. I think
They
Jesse showed
did.
me
yeah,
it.
but see that's flat out murder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not about to sit here and try to sugarcoat it. We're not gonna try to justify it. She's all like,
Hmm.
you know what, this guy's boring me. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop him, and
Yeah.
then proceeds to do just that. We're not playing no games here. And yeah, you can't show it. You can't show them splatting on the
Yeah.
ground, but you can do what they did is cut to something else going splat, and it's like, yeah, that's about as close as you can get. I do appreciate it. These movies need that though because you can't pick and choose. If you're gonna give us heavy subject matter, then be consistent with it, right?
Hmm.
But do little tricks like this because I know damn well you're not about to put out a PG-13 movie and then show a guy dropping to his death from like hundreds of feet in the air, right? Can't do that. Can't you, parents would be tweeting at the studio, incessant, a lot of uncomfortable conversations with kids, but like you can do what they did here, and yeah, that's if we're gonna be clever about it, then yeah, I'm all for it, right?
Hmm.
I'm all for it, and I'm glad that Crypto's a super dog because I'd be pissed if I had to see something happen to that dog. Which by the way, shout out to I don't know what kind of breed that is, but I fully expect whatever breed of dog that is, to shoot up in like
Oh,
in
adoption rates
adoption
have
rate
already shot up.
okay,
And
yeah, everyone's gonna say I want that breed. What breed is that anyways? Have you guys
I have
bothered even
no
looking that up?
I
idea.
don't know. I do know that it's based off of James Gunn's real dog. So James Gunn's real dog does look like Crypto.
James Gunn has a dog that looks like that.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
James,
that's that breed. Okay.
yeah,
I
James
don't know the
Gunn's
breed of the dog though.
James Gunn's adopted dog did the mocap for it, but the look and the fur was based off of I think 2 other dogs, if I'm correct. So it's like a
Okay.
mixture of a couple pups. It doesn't really look like Crypto, but like the movements and stuff were all James Gunn's dog. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well,
But
whatever breed that is, though.
even saying that, like the dog looked good. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say it was like the best dog I've ever seen, but the dog looked good. And
Oh,
no
yeah.
point did I ever say, "Oh man, that looks like really bad CGI for the dog." At least, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But with what Julio just mentioned, I think that we would be wrong to not bring up the fact that this movie was labeled very rogue when it comes, and we don't have to get into the details, but I just would like to get your thoughts, your general thoughts of did this movie with the way it was presented the first time you watched it, did this movie come off as a woke flick to you, or were you able to just enjoy this as a Superman film? Julio, let me get your thoughts first.
I'm gonna say no. Like I did hear something about that going into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched it, and I'm like, nah, man, nothing really woke about it. I mean, yeah, they used international like policies as a plot point, but only as a plot point, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like they delved too deep into war and everything. And yeah, a genocide was about to pop off. Let's make no mistake, that's what that was about to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the movie, but I don't think it was. I don't think the movie was trying to beat a topic over my head, right, or anything like that. I don't think the movie was trying to make me feel something unintended. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the woke allegations were unmerited. That's my thought on that.
Well, let me get your thoughts on the subject. You don't have to go into too much into detail. Like I said, you could keep your
Yeah.
personal politics out of it. But did this movie to you at all come off as a woke flick, or were you also able to enjoy this just as a Superman film?
I do think there was some woke aspects in it. I could see why Julio said that he didn't really catch any because they were more like background stuff, not really plot heavy. But there was like the whole like genocide war stuff that Lex Luthor started solely because of his hatred for Superman. I remember seeing like when the Justice Gang pulled up, I saw like a flag in the background that resembled the colors of the Palestinian flag. You know, like it was hard not to think about the stuff going on in Palestine with all the because it was a Middle Eastern country, and even Lex Luthor his hatred for Superman was mainly solely because of he's not from this planet. You know, he's not from here. You know, he's an immigrant.
He called him an
That was
illegal. He
yeah, he
called him
called him
illegal.
illegal. That was really the only reason he mentioned for hating Superman, which again, like it was more background stuff. We don't really need to know why he hates him. We just need to know that Lex Luthor hates Superman. But yeah, those are the two main woke things, I guess, that I caught. I don't know if there was more, but yeah, I would say it was a little bit more woke, more than I thought it would be. But it is a Superman movie.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be wrong for us to sit here and say that superheroes weren't woke from the start. You know, it's always come from a a start of oppression, whether that be in the artist's real life or what he's trying to portray within the comic book. So going into this with all the news and all the talkings that this is a woke Superman, I would say that I got to enjoy the movie without seeing it as a woke film. I can now go back and see the comparisons to what's happening in real life and acknowledge those, but I can still recommend this movie and tell people that they can watch this movie without the fear of it, I guess trying to sway their mind with real life politics. It's its own thing. It's its own internal struggle within the world. Is there parallels to what's going on in real life? Yes, but that's every show, that's every movie. There's always going to be a parallel to what's going on in our world because that's the way we tell stories. So while I don't see this Superman as a woke film, I can still acknowledge the fact that some of the themes within this are very close to what's happening at home. So I still enjoyed the movie. I love the movie. Like I said, who superheroes have always addressed issues like this, so I'm all for them continuing addressing issues like this. It's probably something that as people we need. Something that I've mentioned to both of you a lot within the past couple of days is that with people going to the theaters and seeing Superman, with people showing up to the live location filmings of Spider-Man, the people right now crave hope, and superhero movies have a very special place in all of the world's hearts that I think they can do something very big right now and get back on the top of the cinema discussion, with being able to tackle some of the harder stories that don't want to be told within DC or Marvel. Now you can go that extra extent because there's others that are making those steps forward to allow those stories to be accepted. So uh, again, I don't think that this movie was a woke movie, but I did very much enjoy the topics that were being discussed within this film. With that being said, I want to get your final thoughts. If you guys have anything else you want to say about Superman 2025, now's the chance. Julio, you're up first.
Specifically about Superman 2025 is that I don't know how many James Gunn intends on making, but if this is the only Superman movie, right, and David's only going to be Superman in other people's movies from now on, as long as the story makes sense, you know. And I know earlier Pollo said he wanted a trilogy. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a trilogy. What if we only get one more Superman movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. Um, what I would say is that James Gunn has earned my faith to watch the next DC thing, which is a lot more than I can say where I've been with superhero movies for the past 5 years. So like
Yeah.
that's my final thought is that I don't need an arbitrary number. I'm not knocking, like I said, I'm not knocking Pollo's thought that he needs a trilogy. I need James Gunn to tell the story how he wants to tell it.
Yeah.
Because this one was already good. So he's earned that. He's earned that from me. I want to see the next DC project. And to me, that's like the greatest compliment. That's basically me saying I am willing to give my money for the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, if
100%.
James Gunn being the head of DC didn't get you excited, like that didn't get you excited for Superman, then I'm
It
glad that
wasn't
this
James.
one did.
No, it wasn't James Gunn though. It was just superhero burnout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even a James Gunn thing. I was just
Okay.
I was done. You know, I was like I'm done, man.
Okay.
Let's just.
There was just too much
I was
content
Yeah.
for so long.
Yeah, I told Jesse let's find something else to be fans of. And let's.
And then we went to the worst thing, which was wrestling. So that's even worse. There's even more to watch on that end.
I'd argue I've been a wrestling fan longer than a superhero fan because I have earlier memories of wrestling.
Okay.
I want to say that's me though. I don't know about you two, but I have earlier memories of wrestling than
me it's superheroes for sure.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, you had to read the comic book, and I couldn't read yet, so
Yeah.
and you could just watch the wrestling.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what I mean? Because my dad didn't like superhero stuff, so you know, and so like
Yeah.
I watched wrestling a lot earlier than I got into superheroes. But yeah, I remember telling Jesse like, let's be fans of something else, man. Let's give it up. Let's give up that part of our personalities and. Man.
Boyo, final thoughts on Superman 2025? Any last comments you want to give on the film before we head off to the next segment?
On the film, no, I think I already got you guys' takes on it, and I already said mine. I was gonna pick Julio's brain. I did have a question for him.
All right, go for
ahead,
it.
man.
Sure.
I'm not against it.
I don't know if you've seen Fantastic Four yet, but or the Thunderbolts. I just wanted you to rank the 4 superhero movies we've seen this year. Because I have my order. I just want to see where you're at.
Wait, 4?
Yeah, we got
Superman,
Thunderbolts and Captain America 4.
Oh, we did,
with
didn't
Red
we? Okay,
Hulk.
so the only one I have not seen is Fantastic Four yet. So I'm gonna rank them.
We'll put Fantastic Four at the
As
bottom
follows.
for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now it'd have to be on the bottom. Superman's on top this year. I'm
Of
sorry,
course,
man.
yeah. No,
Superman's on top.
yeah.
Thunderbolts is second right now. I thought Thunderbolts was really good in the beginning. They had a good idea, and then it felt
Yeah,
like the studio took over. Like when they were all down there and trapped, there was a little bit of there was a little bit of Reservoir Dogs going on. You know, like Reservoir Dogs pretty much all takes place in that one
that
empty
little
warehouse,
room.
remember? Yeah, the
Yeah,
warehouse or whatever. So and then it just felt like the first like I think the movie has like a hour and 40 something runtime and they spend
mm,
50 minutes in that area and I'm like, yeah, we have something here, right?
yeah,
But then obviously it felt like the studio took over. Like, hey man, this is the MCU, man. Let's get some fights going. Let's get all right,
yeah.
whatever, right? So, but Thunderbolts is second. Um, Captain America is third. However, I have a feeling that once I watch Fantastic Four, Captain America's gonna fall to fourth on the year, right? It didn't do it for me. I mean, so much, just
Yeah.
so much. First of all, why was that movie Captain America 4? That's Hulk 2, okay? That's MCU Hulk 2.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong? Like, come on
We
now.
got Betty Ross, we got General Ross, we
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
leader, we got Red Hulk.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like that, I don't know why we're calling this movie Captain America 4. This is MCU Hulk 2, but whatevs, man. I get it. I get it. They couldn't get Mark Ruffalo. He's busy. Good for you,
Yeah.
Mark. Good for you, because I was not down with these superhero movies for a while. But no,
He's got to prep for
um
Spider-Man.
he's gonna be inspired. I thought we're getting I
Punisher?
thought the Punisher. Yeah, I thought
It's
Punisher's gonna
Hulk
I
be
think
and
Sam
inspired.
Hope got
Punisher.
announced.
Yeah.
They got
Damn.
announced. I'm not sure if confirmed, but
Oh,
this is
okay.
this is gonna be a true street level Spider-Man like movie. So
Yeah.
like
See now that
they're
see
getting the
now
people
that
that
I'm looking
can't be
forward to.
just flying into the sky and shit, you know?
yeah.
Okay, but see, so that's my rankings. Obviously, Superman just came out of nowhere into the top spot for me.
Yeah.
Then Thunderbolts. So the real question is gonna be, do you think I'm gonna like Fantastic Four better than Thunderbolts?
Yeah, Thunderbolts. I think you will. I think you will.
Oh, okay, so yeah, Fantastic Four has a good chance to end up second then, but
Yeah.
I don't think any other superhero movie coming out this
Yeah.
year's. I mean, Mortal Kombat's not a superhero movie, right?
No, it's
No.
more
Combat
like
2. Okay,
video
no, no.
games.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
video game movie.
I mean that actually seems like it's gonna be entertaining, if nothing else. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Hey, the first
Yeah.
one was
Um,
really good.
The first one was
yeah,
enjoyable. The last one
yeah,
in 2021.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's where we are. But I think Superman's gonna end up
Yeah.
being the superhero movie of
The
2025
number
for
one
me.
movie. Yeah.
Well, superhero movie, superhero
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have the same list. Just I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
Fantastic Four, so I have that one number one. But
Oh, you have it
that's just
Oh.
one?
me.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
just
hey,
me.
man,
That's
hey,
me.
hey.
Yeah.
Okay, run down
I'm
your
gonna watch
list.
it.
Run
No.
down your list real quick.
Yeah. For mine, for the ones we got, for just strictly movies, no TV shows. So we got a few of those too. Just the 4 movie projects, superhero movies that we got. I would say Captain America. Yeah, it's still a good movie, but it's last for
Fourth. Okay.
me.
Okay.
Uh, and then it's a big gap because Thunderbolts is an amazing movie for me. And then Superman's a great movie. Superman's right there too. And yeah, I feel like Superman and Fantastic Four are like a little bit neck and neck for me. But I'm gonna have to go Fantastic Four. I enjoyed that one way better. I came out the movie thinking it was better,
Okay.
and I still think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Respect. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Jesse,
yeah. I'm
man,
excited to see what you think.
we can't leave Jesse out on this one, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Jesse, do you have a ranking?
The superhero movies this year, Jesse.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm with Julio. I think Superman might be the superhero movie of the year, depending on if we get anything else this year. I'm stuck with the second one because I really want to give it a Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four on the second watch really won me over. The first watch definitely was I did not enjoy it. I felt like there was certain parts that I enjoyed, and then just like in the same sentiment that Julio said right now about Thunderbolts, I feel like at a point during Fantastic Four, the production company takes over and they do the Marvel thing. At least that was my thought the first time I watched it. But the second time I watched
Yeah,
it,
Okay.
I allowed myself to just live in that world, not associate it to anything that's coming up. And I really got to enjoy a solo Fantastic Four movie the way that we've been wanting the Fantastic Four to be presented on screen for years now. So between that and Thunderbolts having the same issue, I'm kind of stuck on what to give number two because I really do want to give it to Thunderbolts just because I feel like I enjoyed
Okay.
that one a little bit more than I did Fantastic Four. But I feel like Fantastic
unexpectedly, like came
Four,
out of nowhere.
yeah, but Fantastic Four is a little fresher in my head. And I feel like that because of the implications that are coming, I kind of want to push it up there. But I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say Superman, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Captain America. Nothing to Captain America. It's just
Yeah.
it's one of those Marvel military movies, and those aren't like typically my favorite Marvel movies. You know, like they
Wait,
had some success in the past, but they're not like the forefront of what I want when it comes to superheroes.
so we all have Captain America.
Dead
Last.
last.
No, I mean, look, man, I didn't do that on purpose.
Not to knock it, not to knock
Yeah,
it.
no, it's not.
Shout out to Harrison Ford. Okay, I'm a big fan.
Mm,
I'm a big
yeah,
Harrison Ford guy. All right, man. All right, Patriot game. Come on, man. Look, man.
yeah. Indiana
All
Jones,
right.
that's your
The
childhood. right
fugitive,
there.
yeah, the fugitive. All right, come on. Look, man. I love Harrison Ford, all right, but I'm sorry, man. But I just want to be sure. Yeah. So, but we all unanimously put Captain America at the bottom for this year. So,
Yeah,
and look, and that's a
Mm.
long fall from grace because I've told
yeah.
Jesse before. I don't know if I ever told you, Pollo.
Mm.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier is the best thing the MCU has put out. Period. That's
I
me.
agree with
That's
that's
me.
top
Okay,
5
so
for me too. I would agree with
nah,
that.
it's one. MCU has
Not
never
number
done
1.
anything better. For me, I love spy stuff. This is a spy thriller.
Yes.
Winter Soldier. So like going from Captain America: The Winter Soldier being the height of the MCU for me personally to Captain America 4 not even being the best movie in its year.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. No, like I even
Yeah.
told Jesse that like Captain America 4 felt like an Incredible Hulk movie and the Winter Soldier combined. So that's why I kind of like enjoyed it still. But yeah, it's sad that it's still on the bottom of all of our lists. But we
For
had
this
good
year.
movies this year. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was really excited. I gotta say, I was really excited for that Captain America because I I was one of the people that was a little saddened by the fact that Steve Rogers was leaving, but I get it. These projects they take so much time, and I'm pretty sure Chris Evans wanted to go do other stuff. So his
Yeah, man.
time came
Chris
to an
Evans had to
end.
make that movie. He had to make Materialist, fam. The movie with Dakota Johnson and Pedro
And Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
Yeah. Madam
So
Web and Reed Richards.
It's the one
when
where the girl chooses the broke guy over the rich guy. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
when we go over and we finally give that cap shield to Sam and we don't give it to Bucky, I was a little disappointed. I really wanted it for us to get a Bucky cap, but I decided to just wait and give Sam that chance, and I feel like he proved himself, at least to me, within the show. I became a very big fan of his cap within the show, so I was excited to see this movie, and when this movie came out, he just didn't feel like Cap to me anymore. I recently, last night, just threw on before I went to bed Captain America Civil War, and just off the first 5 minutes of the scene, Captain America pops out, and he feels like a Captain America. He's doing the flip, doing the superhero pose, getting on the comms, checking where everyone is at, and I just feel like I never got that sense of leadership with Sam during Captain America, the one that came out this year. So sadly, that's the reason that it gets put on the bottom of the list. It's not necessarily that's a bad movie. Yes, I found it boring at points, but that's just because it's one of those Marvel military movies that, like I said, it's not what I'm looking for within my superhero movies.
Yo, since we want to talk about Captain America moments, right? Someone tell me what movie was the one? Which one's the one where he's trying to stop the helicopter?
That's Civil War.
Civil War.
That's
You
when
know what I'm talking about, right?
it's Bucky flying the helicopter and he's trying to catch
Yeah,
it.
The
Civil War.
flex. Look, man, we want to talk about Captain America moments, man. Dude, the flex, man. He's stopping the helicopter,
Right.
muscles popping out. I'm over here. I'm covering my wife's eyes in the movie theater. Like, this is not for you.
Yeah. This is for us.
That's a no. That I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Sam Wilson's Captain America hasn't had that moment. That he's stopping the helicopter. He's flexing, man. Looks like
He's
his
still
muscles are
Falcon
out of
to
his-
still keep.
like we need the Sam Wilson moment. I know where you're going with that, but if we're talking about Captain America moments, it's that one for me when he's trying to stop the helicopter.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I told Jesse this, but I think I told him that if you put Chris Evans in Captain America 4 instead of the Falcon, I think it would have been better. Like if you put the same movie just with Steve Rogers instead of Falcon, I think it would have been better. I would have enjoyed it more for sure.
I don't know, man. I mean, I thought the story was kind of weak too. So like,
Nah, for me,
there's only so much Chris Evans can do. You know what I want? We have multiverse now, right? We do.
yeah, we do.
Okay,
For a time
bring
being.
me, get the kid who's currently
Chris
Captain
Evans.
America in the comics, or at least one of the comics. The homeless one, the one living on the train box.
I don't know.
Slight spoiler. I think he's gay, right? Like in his story, he's gay, but like he's homeless. He's
Mhm.
living in the backs of trains, and he's Captain America.
What
Uh,
the?
That'd be
it-
interesting.
Yeah.
no, that one of the comics. That's what they're running right now. He's damn it. Let me
I haven't
hang on. I'm
caught
about
up.
to,
Yeah, I'm not caught up.
hang on.
But I mean, yeah, it's something that I would enjoy if we went like a different route. But again, we just put Sam in that position.
Yeah, that's true.
He still has time to prove himself. You know, like I said, I very much enjoyed him in the show,
Mhm.
but
The show
it
was
just
good.
didn't come off that same way within the movie, and I think that's
Here
that's
we
his
go.
detriment.
Here we go, guys.
Yeah.
Aaron
got it?
Fisher. That's the character's name. Aaron Fisher.
In the comics?
Yeah. So Aaron Fisher is he's a teenager, so he's young. He happens to be gay. That's neither here nor there for me though. But he's a kid. He's a teenager, and he's broke. He lives on the streets or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's a comic version right now with that version of Captain America running around, and I'm like, you know what? Bring him in the movies, man. Let me see him.
Yeah.
You know, why not? Right? I'm not gonna be against it. But yeah, so I'll send you guys some stuff when I got a chance. But his name is Aaron Fisher, and there's a
Aaron
comic.
Fisher.
There's a comic running right now. Don't know if it finished, but
Alright.
there's a comic
Could
running
have
right
been a
now where
mini issue.
where he's Captain America. And you know what?
I'm
I'm
gonna
down
have to
to
check
see
it
it.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down to see it.
Yeah. I think we're woke enough for the world to accept the gay Captain America. Live
I mean,
action.
Yeah,
it's already
let's do
been
it.
in the comics, so well, yeah, but
Mm.
I'm saying multiverse lets us have that, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
And he's a kid, so he can be young Avengers. I think they're still trying to do that,
Yeah,
right?
true. Yeah,
we're
they were.
hoping. We're hoping. That's
Yeah,
I
something
mean,
that I would
if that
love to
goes
see.
through.
Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
then
with
didn't they bring out Hulk Jr.
with so much falling out because of
at
the
the end of
Kang
She-Hulk?
storyline, I don't know
Yeah,
how many of these stories are gonna actually, we're gonna see
Yeah.
the endings to. Like we said
It's like we said
before,
with the end credit scenes.
so much
Yeah.
shit was set up, and now it's all at jeopardy because they have to change direction. So
Yeah.
I would hope we have so much already set up for that Young Avengers stuff, and I would hope that that's something that we would lead into. But now with Sam Wilson's Avengers and the new Avengers being Bucky's Avengers, what place does the Young Avengers have within this? I guess
yeah,
maybe
it's
we'll
Sam.
find out going into Doomsday and Secret Wars, but at this point in time, that's kind of just up in the air. We have no news about it. There's
Bruh,
nothing.
nah,
Yeah,
you
since
know
they're
what?
talking about a reboot, I doubt we'll see them low key.
F all that, man. Last I checked, Sam Wilson couldn't even get a loan for a boat. All of a sudden, he's got enough money
Yeah.
to trademark the Avengers. Hold on. He couldn't even get a loan for a boat he already owned. Okay, but now all of a sudden he's got the money to trademark the Avengers, man. They get to go somewhere with that. See, this is exactly why I needed a break from all the superhero movies, man, because I can't forget details like that. Them details stick out to me, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they need to bring his sister back on the show. Or wherever, in
This
the movies are
one.
gonna be. What happened to his sister? I thought Bucky was gonna hook up with his sister. He wasn't happy about it, but next thing you know, you got the other widow hitting on Bucky, the one who was the bodyguard for Harrison Ford's President Ross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like, see what I mean? Like I needed that break, man. I needed that break from superhero movies but we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, that's where we are. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at. Going forward, we'll see, man.
Well,
I
with
guess since we're
that,
doing this project now, it's not my job to keep up with them whether I want to or not. So
you have no
So
choice. That's the motto.
yeah, exactly. No choice.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I feel like we've officially reviewed our first movie, with that being James Gunn's Spider-Man 2025. We
Superman.
have, even though
I'll
that the
take
summer, what was that?
You said James Gunn's Spider-Man.
Oh, James Gunn's
I'm like,
Superman.
I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe he should take over Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's next year.
Spider-Man,
Not today though.
Bring him back.
See,
We've officially reviewed James Gunn's Superman 2025. The summer of blockbusters is coming to an end, but that doesn't mean that the theatrical runs are. So I want to get your guys' thoughts. Are there any anticipated releases that you guys are planning that we go see together? Is there anything that you're interested in actually attending? I know that stuff like Shin Godzilla is returning for 4K inside of theaters, but we also have other movies like The Long Walk and One Battle After Another that is famously starring Leonardo DiCaprio. So I just want to get your thoughts. Is there anything you guys are really looking forward to seeing either within this year or maybe anticipated seeing next year that's already been announced? Julio, let me get your thoughts first.
I might need you guys for weapons. My wife doesn't want to see it.
Yes,
Pollo was just talking
I'm
about
down.
that.
She's a little too superstitious, so she's
Yeah.
she's
Pollo
not
was
doing
just
it.
talking about that.
And I want to see weapons though, so like that one. Um, next year, I don't know too much about next year. However, that the Tom Holland, the Odyssey.
Oh, the
I
Christopher
like.
Nolan
That's gonna
movie?
be a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do.
Yeah. We still
Well,
got a whole year for that one.
let me run you some of the movies that I'm seeing right now that I kind of would like to see this year. So we got Weapons, we got Avatar, Fire and Ash, just out of the sole purpose that I'm invested at this point. We got The Conjuring, the new Conjuring movies coming out this year. We got Zootopia 2. We got the next part of The Strangers. We have that, I think it's Guillermo
Rangers,
del Toro's Frankenstein featuring
Ooh,
I'm hyped for that. Yeah, I'm hyped for that.
okay,
I
so
haven't
we
Frankenstein.
heard
got
about
that
that.
one. I heard The
Guillermo del
Naked
Toro
Gun right
monsters?
now
Hell
is
yeah.
really good. I heard that that's gonna be a good watch. I wasn't looking forward to watching that one, but shit, if people are raving about it, why not? You know. Black
Yeah.
Phone 2 is getting a sequel.
That one
Tron.
surprised me. I saw Black Phone 1 and not that it sucked, but I didn't see any, like I don't see how you make a sequel.
I
But
didn't
we'll
expect the
see.
sequel, to be
Yeah, that's what
honest,
I'm saying.
but
Like,
Ethan Hawke killed it. I
hey,
love that
hey,
movie.
I need
we'll
to
see
watch
though.
that one. I haven't watched that one yet.
Mhm.
Tron Ares is slated for
Oh,
this year.
Tron. Yes, it's been a minute since the Tron movie.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I enjoyed the first one. I'm an avid enjoyer of the game, so I'm excited for that one. Julio, your big one, Predator Badlands. That's coming out.
Badlands,
I'm hyped.
yes, yes.
I mean, did you guys have you guys watched Killer of Killers yet?
No, I have
Killer
not.
of
That's
Killers,
the
nah.
animated one, right?
Yeah, yeah, the
Ooh,
animated one came out earlier this year.
I
no
heard it's
way.
really good. I heard it's really good.
Yeah, I've told both of you multiple. It's like what's funny is that this is twice in 1 year. Predators, like that's rare for a franchise to do, right? Like they're dipping into it twice in 1 year. I mean, I get it, animated, but like, yeah, I want to see Predators. Killer of Killers got me hyped. So yeah, I'm Predator Badlands. I'm in on that.
Now You See Me.
Mm,
They have another
now you
installment
see
coming
me.
out. I know Julio's a big fan of that
Good one.
franchise.
That's my guilty pleasure. Those movies suck.
A24 is
I can't
cooking
hate
right
that.
now.
Oh yeah, the machine, the smashing machine with Dwayne Johnson. Ooh.
A24 is
Oh,
cooking. We got the
that's
Smashing
the MMA one,
Machine.
right?
Yeah, we got the Smashing Machine. No, that's the MMA one. The
Yeah,
Smashing
that's
Machine with The Rock. We have Eddington out in theaters right now. We have Him by Jordan Peele. I think that's an A24 film, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So A24 is cooking right now. A24's got a lot of shit coming out.
we got to go support Jordan Peele. So
Yeah,
we'll
there's
see
still a lot
where.
of movies this year that are good that I'm
Yeah,
looking
there's a
at.
lot. Mortal Kombat 2 still coming out this year. Like I said, one battle after another. That's the Leo DiCaprio movie where him and his, ex-wife or whatever, they got into shady
Tiana
shit.
Taylor. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that shady shit has now caught up to them and it has abducted their daughter, so now he is on a mission to get her back. That looks really fucking good. I'm excited to watch that. Another one that
yeah.
I had brought on that's on the screen right now, The Long Walk. It is an adaptation of a Stephen King novel.
I'm in
And
on that. I'm
and
in
it
on
is
that.
and it is about this walk that gets taken once a year, and it is a ton of kids, a ton of young adults, and only one gets to survive and one gets the prize. What that prize is, we don't know yet, but that movie looks extremely interesting to
I think
watch.
I think it's money though. Like I think they even say in the trailer, like I
Oh,
can't
did they
stop
say
thinking
it's
about
money?
all that money. It's money, like, but it must be like an
You know,
absurd amount, like
I mean, but
to
you know how it is with Stephen
risk it.
King. At the
Yeah,
end, either they're not getting it or it's something completely fucked up.
They get to live. How about that? You win. You win. You get to live.
You get to live. But yeah, what are some of the movies that are on your list, Doug?
Yeah, I think there's a few this year that I'm still like hopeful for that I want to see. But if I were to pick one, Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor, so I would love to see that new one of his. But also, I'm excited for that A24, The Smashing Machine, that comes out this year.
Okay.
I'm excited to see Dwayne Johnson. You know, it's been a minute since we've seen Dwayne Johnson in a film. You know, we've gotten The Rock in so many films, but not Dwayne. I feel like this is gonna be the first time in a minute we've seen Dwayne Johnson play somebody besides The Rock.
He's busy with TKO, man. He's
Yeah.
he literally owns the E now, so or part of it. So he's been busy, you know.
Yeah, this is probably why he didn't show up to WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't, man. That's you know what? That's a whole other
different thing.
Other
Yeah.
podcast.
That's a whole something else, man.
But no, like I said, yeah, Dwayne Johnson, like
Smashing Machine.
Every movie he's in, he plays himself. You know, he plays The Rock. At least in the last 10 years, you know, it's just The Rock. But this one, he's playing somebody else, so he can't be The Rock. You know, I'm excited for it, and it's A24, so and it's an MMA movie. It should be good. It should be good. I'm excited for that one, low key. That's probably the one I'm most excited for.
Julio, what do you got on your list?
Yeah, Weapons 2. You said
they already saw.
We'll probably see Weapons next week.
Yeah, there's Weapons. Obviously Mortal Kombat 2, just 'cause it seems like it's gonna be fun. What else was there? There was. Did the Formula 1 movie already come out?
It did. Yes, that came out this summer. Yeah.
I heard it was really good. I haven't watched it yet.
All right. Sisu 2 is coming out, and I like the first one.
Ooh, I haven't watched Sisu. I've really been wanting to watch that one.
Okay. Sisu 2 is gonna come out, and that's another one that I was surprised that they're making a sequel for, because I'm like, we did really good there. So I don't know what we're sequeling, but.
Well, I mean, I guess you could say that about the John Wick movies too, though. The first one, you're like, okay, it could have ended there, and then now we're like 7 movies deep in a show. So,
and the spin-off with the ballerina.
And the spin-off.
Yeah. I saw the ballerina. I saw the ballerina. Went to go see that.
I haven't seen that yet, but I want to
watch that. Yeah, we'll have to have a Discord.
I actually enjoyed it. Like it wasn't terrible, and it doesn't ruin anything for you. So,
yeah,
in spin-off territory, that's about the best you can say. You know.
Yeah, no, Keanu Reeves is cooking, I think, with the John Wick franchise.
Yeah, 100%.
What else? I
haven't seen Way of Water, so I'm not excited for Fire and Ash, but I'm gonna have to watch Way of Water.
Oh, I'm sorry,
to get
man.
Excited. Yeah.
I'm not on board with the blue people.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I didn't like the first one. Didn't care for the second one. I didn't even bother watching the second one, so I can't critique it. Same. I just know. Look, man, my problem with Avatar was that Dancing with Wolves already exists, and it's better. Why do I need Avatar? I got Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner and Dancing with Wolves. I did not need the first Avatar. Yeah, I said it. Fight me, people. Listeners, you feel free to fight me on this, but Avatar 1 was nothing special to me. I want to be sorry for that statement, but I'm not. I didn't even bother with the second one, and this is the third. How many of these are supposed to get? Like 7 more of these or whatever?
No, I think after that, after the second one, they announced like 5 more, or like
Jesus
or like a total of 5.
I thought this was gonna be 4. God damn.
Yeah. It might be a total of 5 because
look, man.
It took like 10 years.
Unless Jesse says that we have to do an episode on it, but otherwise, I'm gonna sit that one out if I can, guys. I'll leave it up to you guys, though.
I mean, if I'm the only one that's gonna watch it, then I'll just do like a 5-minute review on.
Nah, I think Royal's with you, but like
I'll be down to watch it. Like I said, I haven't seen Way of Water yet, but I did see the first one.
We'll have to watch that one. The first one, like I rewatched the first one recently because we took a trip to Walt Disney World, and I wasn't gonna walk into that line not knowing what the fuck I was talking about. So I rewatched the first one, and I would say that going back and watching it now, it's good. I wouldn't say it's bad. There's low points in that movie, but for the most part, it's a good movie, you know. And watching the trailer for the second one, it got me excited. So like, I want to watch the second one. I haven't watched the second one, but at this point, I just feel like I'm invested enough that I just, you know, why not finish it at this point? So
yeah. But if you want to do like a marathon, I could watch it with you. Like I said, I've never seen the second one either. I'll be down to watch it, see what we think.
Yeah,
I mean, watch it. Get excited for the third one, hopefully.
It took 10 years to make the second one, so we might as well fucking. That was in like what?
Oh wait,
middle school, high school when that shit came out.
I was 9 years old.
how could we forget? How could we forget? That they're finally gonna finish the Mission Impossible movies this year too.
They
Mm,
already did.
The Final Reckoning.
They already
that
did.
was
That came
the
out. That
last
came out
one.
last year, I think.
No, that was Dead Reckoning. It's a
Oh,
two-parter. They split it into
yeah.
two.
Oh,
I've only
what?
seen 2 of those movies, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were ending it already.
yeah. The final story, like the Dead Reckoning, ended like on a cliffhanger. You got to see Final Reckoning now to like finish it off.
Are you sure that
Okay.
didn't already come out?
Nah, not yet, man. I don't think so. Let
Yeah,
me
because
see.
Dead Reckoning is the new one, and if
No,
you're
no,
saying that there's the
the Dead
Final
Reckoning,
Reckoning,
yeah,
then
the Dead Reckoning
that
is the
should
most
be.
recent one.
No, Final
Now it's
Reckoning is the most recent one. I watched that in theaters.
No way.
Yeah, May 23rd, 2025. I watched this in theaters. Yeah, it already
Julio's
came
been
out.
living under a rock.
I know, right? that had been out, dog. That was a good one. They finished it finally. I grew up when these movies were coming out, so I was in from it from the start. My girlfriend had never seen any of them, so I kind of had to get her caught up. But I mean, it's so much history. Like, there's so much, and I mean, it established Tom Cruise for who he is today. So, like, of course, I was gonna watch it till the end, you know. And I watched that one. I remember watching that one and thinking it was really good. So, I would say I'm happy with the way that the Mission Impossible franchise ended.
Give those a watch. I've only seen like the first one, I think.
the '90s one.
Yeah, the very first. Maybe the second one too. Like I was trying to go through them, but I didn't last. I made it through the first, maybe the second one. But yeah, they were good. I'm gonna have to give them a watch.
Well, it looks like we have our calendar set. There's going to be a lot of movies that we're going to get to watch together and that we're going to get to bring our reviews to the audience. So that's always exciting. So, with that being said, this week's show comes to an end. Thank you for sticking around and hearing us yap. We'll be back soon with another episode for you. For now, please follow all the socials. Boyo and Julio, any final words before we send it off? Boyo, you're up first.
No final words. Just a thank you to all the listeners that have listened this far, and I hope you guys come back. That's about it for me.
Julio?
Yes, I agree with Boyo. I do want to thank the listeners who stuck with us this far. I promise you all it's gonna get better, right? Can't get
Yes,
worse.
sir. It will.
But one thing I'm looking forward to though is I do want to point out that it's not always gonna be new movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were serious when we said, hey, there's movies that already exist that didn't get the proper attention the first time around, and we kind of want to bring those to your attention. So I'm really hyped to get to that part of the project where we're gonna take already existing movies and try to bring them to more people's attention. And I want to hear your guys' suggestions. So that's what that's what we got coming up for you, and that's what I'm hyped for.
Yeah, I think I want to make it clear when I say that this is a variety show. We will be talking about anything and everything that comes to our interests. We're big movie watchers. We're big show watchers. We play a lot of video games. We read a lot. So there will be tons of different topics that we cover. It's not always going to be one certain topic or one theme, but we will be able to cover more of these things for you in the future. And we're excited to, because, like I said, we indulge in a lot of fandoms, and it's exciting for us to bring our takes to you guys. So until next week, always remember 1A, 1A, 1A.
1A.